What I do every day, I take decisions.
What are the best decisions you ever made in your life?
To come to Africa. Africa for me has been the El Dorado, paradise, heaven. In 2001, somebody believed in me, took a bet on me. They said, why don't you become CEO? It's like, what? Boom, done.
Today our guest is Mr. Wim, CEO of Safaricom Ethiopia.
In the beginning, there was this rumor that we are using Ethiotel network. Completely not true. The competition reduced or lowered the price drastically just before we entered the market. A preemptive strike, you call it. You attack before you get attacked. You cannot systematically sell a product below cost. Now, it's very simple. If you do that, you'll go bankrupt. It cost $1.5 billion plus $850 million for the license to get started. It's not just about execution, it's the speed of execution. It's also very important. You don't have the luxury of time. Yeah, competitive environment. Ethiotel is not sleeping.
What is the one belief that you have a lot of people around you disagree with?
Oh my God. Really? You throw me under the bus like that at the end? You need to create success in the organization. Celebrate little success. It will create excitement for the next success. And then people will take and run with it. There's nothing so exciting as success.
ኤፒሶድ ከመጀመሩ በፊት የፓርትነራችንን ማስታወቂያ ሰምተን እንመለሳለን።
ከእያንዳንዱ ብሩህ ተስፋ ጀርባ በሩቅ አገር የሚከፈል የድካም ዋጋ አለ። ዓለም ያሸለበች በሚመስልበት በዛ ብርዳማ ሌሊት እነሱ ግን ይተጋሉ። ያ በሩቅ የሚፈሰው ላብ እዚህ ሀገር ቤት የደስታ ማዕድ ሆኖ ይቀርባል። ስኬታቸው በፈገግታ የታጀበ ሳይሆን በርቀት በብቸኝነትና በብርቱ መስዋዕትነት የታነጸ ነው። እያንዳንዱ ዝውውር ሁለት ዓለማትን የሚያገናኝ የማይታይ የፍቅር ድልድይ ነው። ለሚያደርጉት ውለታ ምስጋናን አይጠብቁም። የውስጥ እርካታቸው ብቻ በቂያቸው ነው። ርቀት ቢለያየንም በልባችን ግን አንድ ላይ ነን። ጨለማ ለነበሩ ቤቶች ብርሃን፣ ለሕፃናት ተስፋ፣ ለቤተሰብ ደግሞ እረፍት ይሰጣል። ዛሬም ነገም በዓለም ዙሪያ ላላቸው የጽናት ተምሳሌቶች አቢሲኒያ የልባችሁን መሻት ያደርሳል። ምክንያቱም የእናንተ ድካም የእኛ ሕይወት ነውና። አቢሲኒያ ረሚት፣ የፍቅር መንገድ፣ የትውልድ ድልድይ። አቢሲኒያ የሁሉም ምርጫ።
Hi Meri, today our guest is Mr. Wim, CEO of Safaricom Ethiopia. He's been in the telecom industry for the last 25 years, working across Africa. And he joined Safaricom Ethiopia in the last 3 years. So today we'll talk about the telecom sector across in Africa, his experience and how he's been running the organization the last 3 years. And the challenges, the opportunities, and how they have been building the telecom sector from scratch. የዛሬው ኢንተርቪዋችን ደግሞ በእንግሊዝኛ ይሆናል፣ አማርኛ ስለማይችል ማለት ነው። አብራችሁን ተከታተሉ።
Business is mostly risk.
Just start. ካልጀመርክ የትም አትደርስ።
እዚህ ሀገር የሚገጥሙህ ነገሮች ቢዝነስ ቡክ ውስጥ ያሉ።
ሞክር እምቢ ካለህም ሞክር ነው። ጊቭ አፕ የሚለን የጋ ያለ በቃ።
Wim, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Wim, thank you for coming. And, we'll start with a much easier question now.
Okay.
So if you're going to explain to 10-year-old what you do, how would you explain it?
What I do every day.
Yeah.
I take decisions. CEO is about taking decisions. Hopefully the right decisions, sometimes the wrong decisions. But leadership, what is leadership is, showing the way, is leading, and then, decide, are we going left? Are we going right? They look at the leader and say, okay, let's go right. Fine. So take decisions. That's actually the most important part of the CEO job, is to take a decision.
Take a decision and lead.
And lead.
Yeah.
Leading is giving guidance, saying we're going there. That's guidance. Yeah? That's that's the CEO job. It's easy, no?
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Well, what are the best decisions you ever made in your life?
The best decision to come to Africa.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
The continent has given me opportunity and, exciting jobs and, life that I would have never had if I had stayed in Europe. Africa for me has been the El Dorado, paradise, heaven.
Nice.
It has given me extreme satisfaction in terms of the job, the professional life, also personal life. So that has changed my entire life, coming to the continent 28 years ago.
Wow.
I'm old. But wise.
Did you have you always been in the telecom sector when you started?
Well, no, I started my career in a nuclear power plant. Westinghouse is actually an American company that transformed a Russian-built nuclear power plant in the 1990s in the Czech Republic. So, before, you guys might not have been born yet, but before the 1980s, Czech Republic and all those, Poland, they were part of Russian, the Iron Curtain. So they were Russian influence. So the Russians built a nuclear power plant. And then by the time the Eastern Europe got, liberated, if you want, from Russian occupation, the Americans came in and took over and had to finish now the power plant. So my job was to try to, understand the Russian design, drawings, engineering drawings, and actually put American equipment to make the Russian design work. So very interesting job in the Czech Republic in 1995.
That was your first job?
That was my first job.
I see. How do you get into telecom?
I got into telecom because I got into Africa. So my dream from 16, 17 years old onwards was to come and work on the continent. And I was, scanning job opportunities to work here. And I stumbled into an opportunity to build a telco network in Zimbabwe. Okay, so I went for the job interview. So they asked me, what do you know about telco? I said, wow, not much. I'm not even using a mobile phone. We're talking about 1997, so be careful. So not many people, even in Europe, not many people had mobile phones in those days. And I still don't understand how I got the job, but probably because I was the only one applying for it. I don't know, by elimination. But I got the job. They sent me to Zimbabwe to build a telco network. And everything else, is history. So I didn't choose telco. I chose Africa, and telco came with it.
So what was the reason to choose Africa? Were you exposed before, or was just instant?
My best friend at school was actually Rwandese. We are still best friends. I mean, he's like my brother. I have 2 sisters. I have no brother, but he is my brother. So from the age of 15, 16, he was my bestie, Gen Z, they call it bestie, no? Yeah. I'll try to put myself at that level. So my best friend, very close, and he is from Rwanda. He actually adopted at the age of 7 or 8 years old. He came to Belgium, and he was my best friend at school. And he somehow, created that, discovery, or that excitement to discover the continent, and that's it. It's as simple as that. So coincidences. If he had been from Vietnam, well, maybe I would have been now in Vietnam. In Vietnam. Okay, who knows? But that's how life sometimes it's only afterwards that you understand how simple things in life can define your path on how you're going and where you're going. And that's it. Don't overcomplicate it. It's a coincidence, and it worked out perfectly well. Happy.
I see. How has been your journey in Africa in telecom? So just briefly let us know.
Well, I started in 1998. the previous century. Makes it feel a very long time ago. The previous century. 98 in Zimbabwe. Building the telco network, so building towers, telco infrastructure. So I'm an engineer. I mean, nuclear power plant. So I'm an engineer by profession or by education, if you want. So I stumbled into that. Very exciting job, by the way, building a telco network. And then I went from country to country. From Zimbabwe, I went to Gabon. Being from Belgium, I also speak French. Yeah. So again, they couldn't find anybody going to Gabon, which is a French-speaking country. So probably that's why they ended up with me and say, okay, go now to Gabon and build another telco network. And then from Gabon, I went to Chad and Senegal, again, French-speaking countries, Ivory Coast, Congo. And then I ended up in also Uganda, quite a number of years. And in 2001, which is now 25 years ago, I got the opportunity in my life. Somebody promoted me 3 levels up from building the network, project manager, to CEO in one day.
Really?
Somebody took a bet on me. Wow. Somebody saw opportunity in me. Somebody saw, potential. And they said, why don't you become CEO? It's like, what? I don't know anything about commercial, about finance. No. You'll manage that. And they promoted me day overnight. Again, afterwards, I figured out that I was the only option on the table. The company was almost like broken and bankrupt. Okay. But they took a bet on me, and that is something that going forward in the rest of my career. Taking a bet on young people when you see potential, I mean, is something amazing. This is something that, yes, you need degrees, you need experience, but, the guy told me, I'm looking for a guy with 20 years of experience of building mobile networks and managing mobile networks in Africa. Guess what? They're not there because this industry is new. 2 years old, 3 years old industry. We're talking about the 98, 99, 2000, completely new industry. So the guy with all the experience that I'm looking for doesn't exist. So I can as well take a young guy who, seems like a lot of energy and willing to learn, take a bet on him and let's go. And
at that time, how long were you working in the sector?
3 years.
Only 3 years.
From 98 to 2001. So I was 3 years in the industry and I was already a veteran because it was a completely new industry. Yeah. It was very exciting times. Mobile licenses were given in many countries, 2-3 licenses. So the end of the 90s, beginning of 2000, 2001, many countries now issued a second or a third mobile operating license. So it was booming, So it's like AI now. What AI is today, it was like 25 years ago, that was mobile phones or mobile networks in Africa. So I was just, again, lucky to be at the right place at the right time, got an opportunity. Somebody believed in me, took a bet on me. Boom, done.
Did you manage to solve the problem of the company?
Yeah, company is still alive.
That's what matters.
They turned it around. Very exciting.
What region was it?
Gabon, so West Africa.
I see.
Central West Africa. Very interesting countries. Very different, by the way. East Africa, West Africa, South Horn of Africa. The continent is so big, so diverse. So it's a different world out there. But interesting, exciting.
And what did you? I think you have a good experience of story of turning around struggling companies. Yeah. With you started the young CEO, and I think one of the biggest was MTN Uganda.
Yeah, MTN Uganda, MTN Ivory Coast. So that already is now later on in my career. But yeah, I've always been quite excited about taking on, managing companies that are in difficulty. Okay, because you have to look at it like that. If you take over a company that's doing very well, It's very difficult to do better. Well, if you start managing a company that is in trouble, it's very easy to do better. Okay, so it's also a bit opportunistic.
You'll always ask which company is struggling.
So in both MTN, Uganda, and Ivory Coast, Ivory Coast was actually more in distress than Uganda. I had the opportunity to take 6 years. Yeah, so. Also, if you just come for 1 or 2 years, it's actually quite difficult to really make an impact. It takes time to turn around an organization. But yeah, that has been basically my passion point, because I'm excited about that. But also my reputation is to turn around difficult companies. So.
Could we take an example, like one of the companies that turn around, and what would your activities look like for a year? Like, what are the things you look at? What are the things you fix? If you can take one example.
Well, first thing you have to do is not to fix what is not broken. A very important lesson in management, especially when you come in new. Big ego, big experience, you're going to do it all, it all, big mistake.
Okay.
So in every organization, many things actually work. Yeah. Okay. But you need to understand the industry, the organization, the country, to now identify where are the opportunities to make a difference. Yeah. Many companies are running. I mean, MTN Uganda or Ivory Coast, when I came here, things are working. It's not like nothing works. So don't fix what is not broken. First important lesson in management, and be able to understand where are the 5 or 10 things that if you make a change there, it will have a big impact on the overall performance. Yeah. So in Uganda, for example, we were really struggling with our reputation. We had become the enemy of the customer. Customers had no trust in us. Customers were, we were very big, but we were not liked. We were not trusted. So big brand, but after many years, the big brand became actually the big enemy of the people. And so we fixed that because we launched a completely different brand positioning campaign. And but it takes time. You don't do day overnight and change the brand perception. It takes time. But we invested in fixing the brand. And that's what was missing. If you operate in a country and your consumers, they don't like you, but they use you because they have to, it's different. Different to use a product because you have to instead of you want to. Have to is not the same as want to. Yeah. So in a competitive environment, you want to be the product that people want, not that people have to. Yeah? You have to pay the ticket, speeding ticket. It's not something you want to.
Yeah.
Okay, you will still do it, not because you want to, because you have to. So when you are in fast-moving consumer goods, in competitive environments, you want to be the brand of choice. Yeah, and that's, for example, in Uganda, we had lost that. In Ivory Coast, more than 10 years ago. So, to scratch my memory, but in Ivory Coast, we had a real problem of mistrust from the shareholders. So MTN is a South African company, and Ivory Coast, French-speaking West African country. There was a complete disconnect between the organization in country and the shareholders, the owners of the business. So the owners of the business had no trust in the Ivorians. Yeah. Again, the language is a problem. South Africa versus West Africa, English, French is like, there was no communication. So how we fixed it is to show South Africa that we know what we are doing. Yeah. So, and also vice versa, to make understand in Ivory Coast that there are many good things that we can import. And so my slogan was, let's put Ivory Coast on the map of MTN, and let's put MTN on the map of Ivory Coast. That was my slogan, and it worked because later on it became one of the best performing countries in the portfolio, winning awards, being recognized. Everybody happy. Success breeds success. So if you get success into the organization, it ignites more energy, more enthusiasm, more success. Success breeds success. Even those things even go back to your childhood or kindergarten. And the best way for to encourage your child is success. Yeah, you see that at primary school teachers. If you give a task to a child that is so far out of reach, it's impossible to reach, they will switch off and they will feel frustrated and disappointed and say, no, I can't do this. Well, if you give them little, steps, and then you celebrate the success, it gives them the encouragement to go to the next step and go to the third step. Success breeds success. My parents, teachers, both of them, and that is something that I learned from them, is that everybody can reach their full potential, but you will have everybody on a different journey. It's very easy to be a top performer if you have the top talent. You don't need a great teacher. You have the talent yourself. What's the achievement of the teacher to make the brightest kid in the class to succeed? You don't need a teacher. The kid will do it themselves. The real achievement of a teacher is somebody who doesn't have the talent, but because of encouraging them, they discover themselves, and actually you find out that the talent is there. So it is the same in business, and the same with people management. Everybody has talent, but everybody is on a different journey. So success, you need to create success in the organization. Celebrate little success. It will create excitement for the next success. And then people will take and run with it. There's nothing so exciting as success. In all our life, private life, professional life, you name it, success is infectious. You want to be infected by the virus of success. Everybody wants success, as little as it might be, and success breeds more success.
ኤፒሶዱ ይቀጥላል። የፓርትነራችን ማስታወቂያ ሰምተን እንመለሳለን።
አዲስ አበባ ቀጣዩ መዳረሻዋን እየገነባች ነው። በዓለም አቀፍ ዲዛይን የተቀረጸ የግብይት፣ የመዝናኛ እንዲሁም የቢዝነስ ማዕከል ከአሚባራ ፕሮፐርቲስ። ይህ የከተማዋ ቀጣዩ መዳረሻ ነው። የዓለም አቀፍ ብራንዶች መገኛ፣ የበረዶ መንሸራተቻ፣ የሩፍቶፕ ጂምና መዋኛ። በዚህ ግዙፍ ፕሮጀክት ውስጥ ጥቂት ሱቆች በማስታወቂያ ዋጋ ለሽያጭ ቀርበዋል። የከተማዋ ቀጣዩ ምዕራፍ ከመጀመሩ በፊት ፈጥነው የእርስዎን ቦታ ያስይዙ። አሚባራ ፕሮፐርቲስ በልዩነት የተገነባ።
It's quite interesting, like what he did in both companies. The difficulty is when you are a newcomer, like knowing what exactly the problem is. Because if it was there and obvious for everyone, the company could have acted on it. So where do you look like to find the problem? For example, in Uganda, it was mistrust within the customer. And Ivory Coast, it was issues shareholders and in the country operators. Where do you go to find the problem? Who do you talk to?
Listen.
At the new entrant.
To listen. Okay. To ask the right question and to listen.
Okay.
All the answers, well, maybe not all, but a lot of the answers to the problem are actually known. So what I do when I take on a new company, and I did the same here in Ethiopia, I spent my first month just talking to people and writing down. When I write something now, I don't forget it. I'm old school. I'll write it down, it sticks in my mind. So I spent the first month listening, talk to as many people as possible inside the organization, outside of the organization. They will actually tell you everything that you need to know. But you need to know how to listen.
Yeah.
So you have to listen, you have to ask the right questions and to listen. 9 out of 10 of the answers or the solutions that you need are actually people who will tell you. The answers are known. The problems are known, the answers are known. But sometimes you need a newcomer or an outsider to actually unlock that inside the organization. And I did it in Ivory Coast, here in Uganda. I follow the same pattern. I force even my new recruits at executive level. The first month they're not allowed to work. They have to go around in the country, talk to the staff, talk to customers, to listen and learn. Especially in Ethiopia, is very important.
Okay.
Because you're a bit different. Special. So if you don't take the time to understand the environment in which you are living and working, you can make very big mistakes here.
Okay. But do you want to mention anything about, we'll get to Ethiopia. That's something excites us to talk about today. But like in your previous time in Uganda, turning around the companies, like you said, at first you listen in the organization and outside of the organization. But after that, what kind of, maybe recent one is maybe Uganda. So you can mention more. How did you take in those feedbacks and make the implementation? Just to give us a context, then we get into Ethiopia.
Once you've understood what the problem is, you've understood what the solution is, then it's execution. Huh? Okay. Great strategies are great, but if they're not executed or implemented, nothing will change. So execution. Yeah, I have this framework that I use. My team knows LADEMA. I call it. I've invented it myself. It's not
LADEMA.
LADEMA. L, listen. A, analyze. Okay, there is also science. So you listen. A, analyze. D, decide. Remember, CEO, decide.
Yeah.
E, execute. Yeah. M, monitor. Then the last A, adjust. It's a cycle. So you listen, you analyze the problem, you decide what to do, you have it executed. Immediately you monitor whatever you have decided and which is now being executed. You monitor, and if it goes wrong, if it's not as per expectation, you adjust. There's nothing worse than a leader who is stuck in his own stubbornness and not want to change. Yeah. The only mistake you're not allowed to make is not to learn from your mistakes. You have to acknowledge that you've made a mistake. There's nothing wrong. Everybody who takes decisions will take some wrong decisions. Somebody who thinks that they know it all, well, they know nothing.
Yeah.
So that humbleness is something that you learn. Yeah. I can tell you learn that the hard way. By being too arrogant and not humble enough to admit that you've made a mistake, you learn that the hard way. Trust me. Yeah. So it's about listening, analyzing, then deciding, and everybody has their voice, but ultimately a company is not a democracy. It's not like, let's raise hands and vote no. I mean, you've been appointed by a board, by shareholders, by owners of the business who have entrusted the management of the company in your hands. Of course, you have a management team, but ultimately, if you just go for democracy and you make the compromise of the compromise and you dilute everything to please everybody, you haven't decided anything. Sometimes you need to say, okay, this is what we're doing. And you consult, but ultimately you expect that, okay, let's go this route, that everybody else then says, okay, let's align behind this decision and let's focus on execution. Yeah. And then monitor. Was it the right thing to do? If everybody would know in advance what the right thing to do is, most of us wouldn't be here. That would be too easy. So be humble enough to monitor whatever you have decided to execute and then adjust. And sometimes say, guys, I was wrong. This thing is not working. Let's do something else, but fast enough. So in Uganda or in Ivory Coast or here, be humble enough to admit that you've made a mistake as a leader. It also creates more credibility for the next time. with the team. You know, if you say no, this was wrong. Yeah, fine, okay. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. Yeah, as long as you admit it and you correct it, that is what really matters, and that's what can go fast. Don't sit on things forever. Don't take it. Being indecisive in leadership position can be very dangerous. Because time. Yeah. It's all about time. Competition. They don't wait. They move. So being indecisive can be very, very dangerous for your business. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. Move on. Correct it and move on. It's easy, no?
Interesting. Not easy as you're saying, but we got the point. So when you were when did you get the offer from to run Safaricom Ethiopia? How was your impression? How was your reaction to that?
Well, to my history that we've been talking about, Safaricom poached me. Okay, I mean they looked for me. Yeah. It's not like there was a newspaper advertisement and say vacancy available, CEO Safaricom Ethiopia. Yeah. I didn't see it in the newspaper or on LinkedIn or whatever. So Safaricom reached out to me. I had already left Uganda and I was actually in charge of West Africa for MTN. 5 countries in West Africa, French-speaking countries, plus Liberia. Not a very interesting country, Liberia. I didn't like it, what I was doing. I was managing 5 countries. But I wasn't in charge of one country. I was in charge of 5 countries. So a lot of traveling, a lot of moving around, board meetings going. So I wasn't super excited about it.
It wasn't much execution.
Exactly. Not enough execution to my liking. Not enough, in the driver's seat. Yeah. So they reached out to me. Say, are you interested? Headhunters. First you have a headhunter, then you talk to the actual company. And so, of course, the whole industry on the continent has been observing Safaricom Ethiopia. I mean, it's the last big opportunity. Yeah, all other countries have already 3 or 4 mobile operators. Opening up the Ethiopian market had been something that we had been following for 10 years. The first talks about opening up the telco industry in Ethiopia go back to 2010, 2011. Yeah. So for almost 10 years, this has been, are they doing it? Are they not doing it? So finally then, Safaricom enters the market. So it is not something that was unknown to me. We were scanning, we were following what was happening here. And I didn't hesitate a second. When they reached out and we started talking, I said, yeah, this is for me. I want to do this. And I had been with MTN for 15 years. So leaving a company after 15 years, it's not a small decision. So, but I said, no, this is for me. This is exciting stuff. Let's do this.
What did you know about Ethiopia when you
Ethiopia?
Have you been here before working?
I have been a very frequent flyer of Ethiopian Airlines since 2006.
Oh wow! So you
So the only thing I knew about Ethiopia was the airport.
No, you never came out.
I came out because I missed my connection a few times. Yeah. Addis is transit. You want to travel in Africa, you cannot travel without passing in Addis. So Addis had been my transit airport, I think more than 100 times. I've been in transit, more, maybe 200 times in transit in Addis airport. Actually, 2006, I remember very well. This wasn't the airport you see now. In 2006, it was more like a railway station, not an airport. I mean, the country has changed dramatically. So the only experience I had from Addis was 2 or 3 times that I missed my connection. And then, they give you a voucher and then they put you in one of the hotels. not the ones that are here now. Skylight, all that wasn't there. Well, a different version of it. And so that's what I remembered a few times. And being a bit adventurous, I would then take, a taxi in the morning, organize with someone, those guys in front of the hotels, they know how to manage and say, okay, I want to have a driver for the day moving around. So I was moving around in a Lada, these very old taxis, Lada, which Russian kind of...
The blue taxis.
The blue taxi, the very old ones. So I moved around in a Lada. And I must say the memory that I have, the visual memory of Addis in 2006, 7, 8, when I was stuck a few times here, when I then finally came back in 23, I just couldn't recognize the place. I was completely lost. The image that I had from Addis from 15 or 20 years ago to what it is now, I was lost. I said, is this the same place? I was trying to, because, I have a good visual memory. So I had a few images of how the city looked like, because I moved around like for a day, twice for a day. I even bought some fake gold in 2006 in the piazza, thinking that I was smart, but it turned out to be fake.
Oh, wow.
But those same shops are still there. That whole area where you have the gold, the gold jewelry and stuff like that. So I really didn't recognize the place. But that was my first encounter in 2006, 7, 8, moving around for one day. I was really fascinated by the religion. The church, the Orthodox kind of thing. It was all over, it was very visible, very present. And the way the country has changed was shocking. Shocking in a good way, very exciting to see that change. But that was the image I had from Addis, was from 2006. So I wasn't really quite sure what to expect, but it was a big, positive, exciting surprise when I came.
You're seen like a sort of a fixer. So what challenges was Safaricom facing that you need to come in and fix?
Yeah, well, we came in exactly 5 years ago, 2021. We got a license, operating license, through a competitive bidding process. So the government had decided to liberalize the market, invited a number of international telco operators to bid for the license. We won the bid, $850 million we paid for a piece of paper.
And it was the biggest single license fee in Africa.
Well, it's worth it because 140 million people. I mean, that second operator. So we don't regret that decision. But 5 years ago, we decided to come in.
That's a lot of money.
And then to invest. So 850, that's just a piece of paper that gives you the right. That's your entry ticket. It's like you go to a concert. That's what you pay to enter the premises. But then we invested another $1.5 billion for now in infrastructure. Telecom towers, equipment, data centers, fiber, all that telco stuff. What was the challenge? Well, the challenge after 2 years of operation, because I came 23, which was 2 years after the license, is that we launched. But our success in other countries, we are part of Safaricom, but also Vodacom. Vodacom is owner of Safaricom, so we are Kenya, yes, but also Tanzania, DRC, South Africa, so Egypt also. We have been very successful for many years in those countries, and sometimes success can be your biggest enemy. And so we came into the market with a very clear view. Let's copy paste, because we know what we're doing. We have been successful in several countries for 20 years. We know what we're doing. We're just going to copy paste whatever success formula that we know from other countries into Ethiopia. Guess what? Didn't work. We had to adjust our model.
What was different about Ethiopian market from other African countries?
the level of development that Ethiopia has reached or already had reached in 21, 22 is very different from us operating or entering a market 15 or 20 years ago. Entering Malawi 15 years ago is not the same as entering Ethiopia in 2021. Yeah, so I think we underestimated a little bit the advancement actually of the country, and we made a few mistakes. Okay, not everything was wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's easy for me to say. I came 2 years after, so I wasn't there in the beginning. So I don't like, finger pointing the past. It's very easy to blame everything on the past. But we made a few mistakes, and in good faith. It's not like we deliberately made mistakes. It's in good faith. People are here to make things work. But we underestimated, I think, the complexity and the uniqueness of the country. Yeah, investing in Malawi in 2005 is not the same as investing in Ethiopia in 2021. Yeah, so we underestimated it, I think. Okay. But we corrected it. We corrected it, and I think we're doing well now. So we're on a very good trajectory, and it's not easy, to come into a new country with you don't know anything. Yeah, you're starting from a hotel room, and then you're expected to do miracles. Yeah? So I also have to give, a bit of credit to the very, very first team that came onto the ground. It was also COVID times. Yeah. The war in Tigray was in full swing. So the circumstances were also very, very challenging. Now it's much easier for me. So it's easy for me to come afterwards and say this and this was wrong. The guys in the beginning had a very challenging time. Yeah. And the expectation, so the first thing I told my shareholders when I took the job is your expectations are wrong. Manage your the first thing that is to manage their expectations. Yeah. So the glass can be half full or half empty. When it's half empty, you've done a bad job. When it's half full, you celebrate. But it's the same quantity of water in the glass. It all depends on
how you see
it and what is your expectation. If you're expecting a full glass and it's half, you're a failure. But if you're expecting very little water and you actually manage to get it half full, you celebrate success. Again, it comes to my point of, step by step, celebrate little success and breathe success and go and go and go. The expectations that we had in the beginning were not realistic. And my first job when I came was to manage shareholder expectation and board expectation. And as I told them, guys, give me a break, give me 1 year. We need to pull it together. Things are not as bad as you think. You think the glass is half empty because you are expecting a full glass. I am excited that it's already half full. And, that's it. Manage the expectation. That was my biggest
challenge.
Contribution, if I can say, when I entered the first 6 months, is to turn it into a positive story. There was negativity around it because we were disappointed. If you're expecting this and you only get this, you get disappointed. So there was disappointment because we didn't live up to the initial expectation. While I actually turned the narrative around and I said, we've done a great job so far. We've already reached halfway. So the same story, the same results, but we turned them around into a more positive way. Again, positivity, celebrate success. It's amazing. Success is amazing.
It's also important for the team energy as well.
Absolutely.
And I think the dissatisfaction from the shareholders was quite public because they don't want to finance it. Then IMF have to come. Not IMF, the IFC has to come to financing. So I think it's good to change that. But what was the first strategy and what kind of adjustments do you made for the strategy to work besides managing shareholders' expectations?
We wanted to do too many things at the same time and not being focused enough. So I have this concept of must-win battles. MWB, must I used to call them must-win battles, but then people might think it's all about me. So, but actually, the must-win battles.
Okay.
And so I defined, again, after my 1 month of listening to the staff and customers inside, outside, I went for a town hall and I presented 8 must-win battles.
Okay.
What is the beauty about that is it create clarity. These are 8 battles we need to win.
So you called the entire staff?
Yeah. I made a presentation to the entire staff and said, first I called my exco, my executive committee. I shared it with them in the morning, and in the afternoon we went to the town hall and I said, I'm presenting the 8 must-win battles.
Okay.
Simple, clear. Mm-hmm. The beauty about that is that it creates focus. And there was nothing new. I mean, if I would share with you the must-win battle, you would laugh. Mm-hmm. It's obvious things. So for one of the must-win battles was Ethiopia is not Addis. Okay, Addis is not Ethiopia. Meaning, Ethiopia is so big. If we just look at Addis only, there's nothing. The country is massive. So we need to go regional. That's why I opened up regional offices or put more people in the regions. And the opportunity actually was in the regions. In Addis, the competition is much stronger than in some upcountry places. So let's go first on the outside and then we work our way back inwards to Addis. So Ethiopia, Addis is not Ethiopia. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just one must-win battle, just to say, let's focus on not just Addis only. There's a lot of opportunity outside of Addis. Hawassa, Jimma, Adama. We're doing very well. We're doing great in some of those other towns. So that was one very simple concept. And then every month or every 2 weeks, I put together a cross-functional team. And the must-win battles are always about cross-functional team. So it's not like a commercial team or a technical team. Must-win battles, in my mind, is like different departments coming together and having a common objective and say, collectively, we need to win this battle. There's a technology, there's a finance part, there's HR, different people get together on a regular basis. Must-win battle. So I had 8 must-win battles. And I was following them personally. So some of them were every week, others every 2 weeks, but cross-functional and follow up on progress. And then after a few weeks, months, you actually see that the team owns it themselves. And actually the meeting just becomes, but it was clarity. A CEO also has to be a chief clarity officer. Clarity. Mm-hmm. You need to be focused. Clear. There's so many things to do. You can lose yourself in the forest. It's very easy to get lost in the forest if you don't know where you're going. And there are many trees in the forest. Chief Clarity Officer. This is what we need to focus on. Boom. And then it happens. Chief Empathy Officer is the other CEO. Mm-hmm. You also show empathy. Chief Clarity Officers, Chief Empathy Officers. There's a whole theory about hats, CEO hats.
Okay.
CEO needs to wear many hats. So there's clarity, there's empathy, there is which is the other one? Transparency. There are different things that as a CEO you're expected. Me, I'm focusing on empathy and clarity.
Tell us about empathy. Why do you does that need to have empathy?
Well, empathy, you're dealing with people, huh? Mm-hmm. It's very easy to kick a machine, huh? But when you deal with people, I wouldn't recommend you to kick. But that is something I learned over the years. I can tell you, compared to 25 years ago, because I was CEO in 2001. Mm-hmm. Roman calendar, not the Ethiopian calendar. Yeah. so it's 25 years. Okay. 01 to 26 is 25 years. I can tell you, 25 years ago, I was 0 when it comes to empathy. There's something I learned over the years through experience. That's why experience does matter, because those are not things that you learn at school. You can do whatever MBA. They're not going to tell you a lot about how to really engage with people. Okay, you'll get some theoretical course about HR, but you learn it the hard way, usually. Empathy. You're dealing with people. And people are not machines. People are people. And empathy is about, you have to be tough from time to time, but at the same time, you also have to show a human face. And finding that balance. In my early days of my career, I had empathy 0. So I learned how important that is. Because you're dealing with people, human beings. They have a family at home. Yeah? Like anybody... somebody in Gabon, it was in Gabon, who opened my eyes. So you can go hard on somebody in a meeting, but then you realize that gentleman, when he gets home, he's the head of the family. Yeah, he's a well-respected person within his family. Who are you, 30 years old, to humiliate a 40-year-old father, head of family, in front of his colleagues? It's wrong. Yeah, he's a well-respected person in his own ecosystem, in his own universe. You have to respect. So empathy is also about respect and knowing. At the same time, okay, sometimes you have to bang the table.
Yeah.
I do bang the table. My team knows I like banging the table, especially when there's coffee, and it jumps up, makes some extra noise. It's also, just a matter of engagement. But empathy is showing your human face. Yeah, we are spending so much time together in the office. If you can't interact like humans, then what's the point of coming to work? It becomes a torture. So work should be fun. For me and for the ones who come to work. But when it's serious business, it's also serious business.
Let's look at both of the examples. For example, like for empathy, how is, as a CEO, how do you express your empathy at workplace?
To realize that sometimes people, have personal problems. Somebody, your wife might be sick. Your kid might be in hospital. Not to just brush that off and ignore that. Work is part of life, but there is much more than work only. Having a family, having personal challenges, to somehow accommodate that personal factor. Knowing that somebody has a challenge, like now as we speak, one of our colleagues is actually in India because his wife had to go for surgery. You need to know now that is the situation that this guy is facing, and don't bang him now with 23 emails in an hour on this and that and that and that. Give him some breathing space. He has a personal challenge to face. Yeah. So that is the empathy factor, which I can tell you 25 years ago when I started,
you don't care.
I wasn't in that space.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, some people will say, "Oh, you've become too soft." It's not a bad thing to be a bit soft when it comes to those things.
Especially be human. How about tapping the table? Like, what reasons would?
Well, if people say, "I'm going to do this next week," and you ask them, "So where are we?" and they say, "Well, I haven't even started." Well, then I bang the table, or not sharing information. It annoys me. You know the answer, but you don't want to tell him what the answer is. You want to hold the information for yourself. Well, if you share the information, problem solved.
I see.
Because you need that piece of information to solve the problem, but you don't want to share it because you want him to suffer.
What do you do when this happens?
Bang the table,
Okay.
That gets me annoyed. Not sharing information. Where 1 + 1, is the solution. 1 plus 1 is 11. You know, think about it. 1 plus 1 is 11. If you manage to get everybody get access to the right level of information, you get things done very fast and very smooth. Well, if you protective, then things don't happen. The speed, it's not just about execution. It's the speed of execution. It's also very important. You don't have the luxury of time. Competitive environment. Ethiotel is not sleeping. Speed of execution, and if you hold on to the information deliberately, we've wasted a whole week. Problem could have been solved on Wednesday, and we are now the next Wednesday. Nothing has moved. Why? Because you haven't shared the information that he needed to solve the problem. That annoys me. I can raise my voice from time to time. I don't mind.
I think like as you go on, like in life, generally you start to learn to have empathy for people. Like as you experience life by yourself. For me, like having family, and like I start to understand people that has a family, over time. Before, it's harder to have the substance of, so you'll start to have empathy. But Tagawa, I think he asked the question as well, like, how do you find the balance on having the empathy and having people actually to deliver as well?
It's a fine, delicate balance, I would say. Sometimes you overdo it on one hand, on the other hand. Experience over time, you start getting that right. And, age softens you up. So I think over time you get more to the empathy side and less to the my way or the highway side. I think that's experience. That and age. You also you look at things a bit differently, a bit more from a distance. So am I getting that balance right? I don't know. You should ask my team. They will tell you. But you get me out of the room and you ask them in Amharic, and they'll tell you the truth. You'll find out. I don't know.
Okay. Interesting. Tell us about Safaricom today. Like, and what the size of the operation, business segments, geography, etc.
Well, exciting news. Last week, we crossed 15 million, 15 customers.
Congrats.
Yeah. Success. Celebrate success, no? 15 million. I mean, when I came 3 years ago, we were at 1.
Really?
So we collectively, it's not me, the whole organization.
So you came from 1 to
1 million to 15 million in 3 years. So we're almost growing like 4-5 million a year over the last 3 years. So it's an exciting growth. Journey. So we have 3,600 towers, telco towers. We are covering about 55-60% of the population. So 60% of 140 million is 85 million. So we can clap here and say, oh, Wim, you've done great. 15 million customers. Okay. But the potential is 85. Okay. You have to remove the children and all that. So let's say the potential is 50 out of 85. In terms of the adult population that we are covering is about 50 million. We have 15 million customers. So again, is the glass half full? If somebody says, oh, you only have 15 out of 50, you've done a bad job. Well, you can say, oh wow, we've already reached 15. Remember? Yeah. Half full, half empty. So we have 15 million customers, 3,600 towers, which is not small. Just to give you comparison, Safaricom in Kenya, in 25 years of operation, they built 8,000 sites. So we are almost halfway in 4 years.
Yeah.
What they took 25 years to build. So, of course, the opportunity is also double. There are not 140 million people in Kenya either. But the journey we've been on is very, very exciting. Very exponential growth. I call it exponential growth. So we are covering all the major towns. If you want to test my geography of Ethiopia, I can challenge you. From Chire to Adigra to Gode to Jijiga to Gambela to Asosa to Jinka, Arbaminch, Nekem, Hawassa. I mean, all of those towns covered. And now we are expanding more and more outside of the major towns. But we still have a lot of work to do. Only 60% of the population is covered. We need to get to 95%. So still a lot of work to do. And the more customers you have, also the more you need to continue investing. Because one tower, roughly can carry, let's say, 5,000 customers. Then you get into congestion. So one tower can cover, let's say, 5,000 people can be on the tower.
Yeah.
But now if you need more customers, you need to build another tower next to it. That's why, you see Ethiotel, they have about 10,000 towers already. They just announced it a few weeks ago. So it's public information. There's nothing secret. So they have more than 10,000 towers because they also have far more customers. For now.
And they've been around for a long time.
And they've been around. So we focus on coverage, and then as and when you get more customers, you need to start building additional towers next to each other for capacity to get more customers using the services simultaneously. So 3,600 towers is just the beginning. We will also get in the next 3 to 5 years, we will also get to 10,000 towers. So the investment has to continue because the demand for data, mobile data services, guys, I don't know what you're eating here, but everybody wants to be connected to the internet, TikTok, Premier League, Champions League, whatever, people are just Telegram. People are data hungry. Ethiopia is the highest in 8 countries. Vodacom has 8 countries in Africa. The usage of mobile data per person, per customer in Ethiopia is the highest in the 8 countries.
Really?
Yes. Wow.
Yes.
That's interesting.
People.
What are we using? Are we on TikTok or what are we on?
No, TikTok is big. TikTok is big, and football. Premier League or Champions League or even the World Cup final, network is exploding. People are passionate about football, especially Arsenal. So we had a good year. I'm not an Arsenal fan, by the way, but I support Arsenal because my business is thriving. So Arsenal going all the way to the final of the Champions League was actually good business for us.
Oh, I see. People are streaming more.
Yeah.
But from the 15 million customer, do you see a lot of majority of his data?
Yeah. So we are mainly a data network. Ethiotel already covered 95% of the population in terms of voice. Historically, this is normal. They have a very wide coverage footprint. We came into the market with one clear value proposition was mobile data. 4G everywhere. So we are rolling out 4G on all our 3,600 sites. And so we came into the market with data network. Of course, we also offer voice. It's not like you can't use your Safaricom line to make a call, but the unique value proposition was about mobile data. Worked very well. Of course, now we are also putting a lot of emphasis around voice. Voice is not dead. People might think, everybody has a smartphone. No, it's not true. Not even half of the customers when you look at it as a country, Ethiopia as a country, less than half of the customers are actually having a smartphone. So there's big opportunity to drive the smartphone penetration. And many people, especially outside of the urban areas, are still voice users. So voice is not dead. Voice remains very important. But there's something unique about data versus voice. Data you consume on your own. Mm-hmm. I take my smartphone, I look whatever video, I'm on my own. Mm-hmm. Voice, you need to call to somebody else. So you need to be two. Why is that so important for us? Is that if I take my phone and I make a call to somebody who is outside of my network coverage, I won't be able to reach them. Yeah. Well, if I'm on my data smartphone, as long as I have coverage, I'm okay. Yeah. Voice, you need to be both within coverage. So in the beginning, it was challenging to build our voice network because the person you want to call, one out of two is not within coverage. So you need to have a proper network coverage before you can really push the voice usage. So now that is what we're working on very hard, and the voice is growing very, very well. We've got a lot of excitement now around voice. So that takes time to build because you need the other person to be within the network. And if you're only covering 10% of the population, well, 1 out of 10 will pick the call. The other 9 calls, they won't reach the other side. So now we have a sufficient big enough network to really drive the voice strategy. I hope competition is not listening. Giving away too many secrets, but we started as a data network.
They can call with airtime, right?
Yeah, no, of course. With airtime, we also have very exciting bundles, voice bundles. And our voice bundles, they allow you to call 07 and 09. While the other bundles, it's only 09 to 09. So for us, our voice bundles support both networks. So we are now really investing in also driving the voice. We have a lot of data users that use the network just for data. We are the second SIM or the second wife, depending on how you do it. So we are the data SIM, But we are now trying also to show our customers that the voice network is also there and is also very good. So data alone was how we entered the market, but now we are diversifying. Voice remains very important, and then the digital services. People want exposure to just more than the basic stuff. Gaming is very big in Ethiopia. Young people be surprised how many young guys are on this gaming and
online
gaming. Yeah. So now for gaming, you need low latency. I'm not going to bother you too much with technology terms, but latency is like I click the button and I turn the steering wheel to the right. Within a fraction of a second, you want on the screen the thing to go to the right, especially if you're playing against the guy sitting in Australia, because gaming is like no boundaries. People play games with each other across the world. So one day, one night, my son, the middle of the night, I see light in his bedroom. I said, "What are you doing?" He was gaming against the guy in the US where it was during the day for them. So gaming has no boundaries, has no time zones, and young people in any case, they don't know about boundaries. Country boundaries. So your latency has to be very low, because otherwise you always lose the game. You go to the right or you click, for shooting this or that. If the latency, if it takes too long before on the other side the thing is happening, it's like talking on the satellite phone. So hello, you see like live things on BBC or Al Jazeera or something, that there is a bit of a delay between they say something and then before it reaches the other side, there's a delay delay. So our network has a very low latency. So the gaming community is very excited about using our network because of the low latency. They actually win the game. If they are on low latency, you lose the game. But I hope they're listening.
All the gamers?
All gamers come to Safaricom. We have a special bundle, by the way, for some of the gaming.
For the gaming. Oh, nice.
It's a special niche market, but very heavy on data consumption.
Yeah, but I don't think even people are aware enough of how big it is. And how big a business it can be for game developers.
It is. Yeah, and now we are even investing in localized games. Ultimately, young people also want to associate with what is in their own country. Ecosystem, in their own universe. So localized games have big opportunity, big potential to crack that market. 140 million. Yeah. This is not a small country.
A lot of people are youths.
Yeah. Half of the population is young age. So no, the Gen Z, I don't like to use that word because in some countries it has a bit of a negative thing. But the opportunity, for youth today, you can't be a teenager without being connected. Everybody wants to be part of that world. And what is the device? Is the smartphone and a mobile network. You can be against it. You can be nostalgic and say, in my days, we spent our time studying and now young people, they spend their time gaming. It's not true. You are not studying all that time. Don't fool yourself. That is old people talk. Today...
The guy who says that all the time. He's been studying or working hard all the time. Helping his parents.
There were different types of games. Young people now, it's part of their daily life. It's part of their daily life. I have kids. I see everybody, it's part of the daily life.
Yeah. And this technology wasn't present by then. Like it's a new technology, new life.
Yeah. And then you can't resist technology.
But back
change.
in the days, people play outside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's the same. It's still playing.
Online.
Now they're playing, football game against a guy in Australia.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah. It's different, but it's the same.
Yeah. In other countries, when you have like different telecoms, so you can transfer your number. So is it allowed in Ethiopia?
Number portability, it's called. Yeah. Number portability. You transfer your number onto the other network. No, in Ethiopia, that's not yet possible.
It's not allowed.
Not allowed. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to.
You can just buy a SIM card. You don't have to carry a number. By the way, we have something quite because it's not yet possible. We have a program called 0711. In the early days of the launch of the mobile network here, let's say 20 years ago, the prestigious number, the first, I think 1 million numbers started with 0911. And then XXX.
And 20 is even the earliest one.
20 is even better. Yeah. So we have
11, 20.
11, 20. Okay. So we have a 0711 program where you can have the last same 6 digits, but now 0711 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's almost similar number, but it starts with 0711 instead of 0911. And so you can carry your same 6 digits. Feel happy about it. But let's be honest, who knows phone numbers? When I started 25 years ago, I knew 20, 30 phone numbers. Now you go to your phone book and you have the name. Who cares about the number?
Yeah.
True. Sometimes I even can't remember my own number when you have to. It's true. How many phone numbers do you know?
Not a lot. Few. Maybe my parents,
but the relevance of the phone number has actually completely disappeared with the smartphone.
But like infrastructure-wise, I think it's also difficult because you have to rent a lot of buildings. So I think the performance is quite impressive because you have to do a lot of infrastructure as well. You have to rent buildings to put your tower, and it's a massive like logistics and groundwork? Like, how do you manage to pull that out?
Well, that's really started even before I joined. So the first 2-3 years of the whole project was building the infrastructure. Okay, we're still building. The journey never stops because 3,000, 5,000, 8,000 towers. I mean, it will never stop. We will continue continuously expanding. But the first 2 years were really the building phase, and there's the hard phase. I can tell you that when I hear the stories from the ones who were there from day one. I'm Safaricom. I want to build a tower here. You are who? What? Tower? No, it's not possible. It's not authorized. It's not a lot of barriers, a lot of resistance. I mean, regional authorities not understanding, no. There's only one network in Ethiopia. There's no second. No. We have the second license to operate. No. Doesn't apply in this region. So a lot of barriers that we had to overcome in the beginning. So the team really did an amazing job. Wasn't easy to build. Not that there was resistance or deliberate, bad faith. It was a lot of lack of awareness of who we are and what we are doing. And, in the beginning, there was this rumor that we are using Ethiotel network. No, it's completely not true. I mean, we've built our own network from the ground up to the data centers and the towers. So there was a lot of misunderstanding about what we are actually doing in the country. So it was a tough job building the network. The first 2 years was tough because of starting from scratch in a country that you don't know, and that's its own logic. So the team, we call it the rollout, rolling out the network, but not just the technology team. It also involved an admin team to go and get leases signed with landlords for the land or for the rooftop. A lot of challenges, but I think as an organization that should be really, again, success. The initial success was the launch of the network. Can't take it for granted. You look at it now and say, oh, it's okay. It's done. The guys who did it, they will tell you how difficult it was. But we managed to do that, and we learned. Okay. One of the things we learned is that the local capacity, we really underestimated the local industrial capacity. We used to import in the early days, we imported everything. Now we are buying so much more local manufacturing is big, like towers. All our towers now are locally manufactured, while the first 1,000 towers were all imported because we didn't know the country, so you know what you know. You start with that, and then you learn over time how to operate. We have now subcontracted most of the installation work to local companies, while in the initial first 1 or 2 years, it was mainly foreign companies. So we learned a lot on how to make it better, cheaper, and faster of building the network. So, but still, big achievement in launching the network. It was a moment of pride. I wasn't there yet, but it happened a few months before I joined. But that was really a big achievement. And we just continue. But we learned. Making mistakes is not the problem. Not learning from your mistakes, that is not allowed. The only mistake you're not allowed to make is not to learn from your mistakes. And we didn't make many mistakes, Again, don't fix what is not broken. So 80 or 90% was okay. But we managed, over time to localize much more. Even in terms of staff, when I came, we had 180 expats in the company.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's massive.
Yeah. Now we are 15.
Okay.
So the talent is there.
So you fired all the foreigners? That's what
Don't say firing. when contracts get to an end, you don't renew. So, half empty, half full, it's the same thing. But no, I mean, that is normal. We are multinational.
So they could go to any location.
Yeah, those are mobility, people from Kenya, South Africa, Tanzania, DRC, from Europe. So yeah, you start.
So how many percent was it in percentage? So local staff, how many were they?
Well, I think in the very first 6 months, there were probably more foreigners than Ethiopians, because when we started recruiting, so the balance completely shifted. But that's normal, you arrive with a suitcase and 100 people and say, okay, let's start out of the hotel. Let's start. I mean, it's not that easy, without knowing the country. So we recruited a lot of local talent, and now over the last 3 years, we have localized most of the positions. So in the next 1 year, I think we will go down to about 10 expats, and then the following year we're going to start exporting Ethiopian talent. That's my new KPI.
Really?
After localizing, is now exporting.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to export Ethiopians to the rest of the continent.
What made you think like doing exporting?
Because the talent is there. Amazing talent in the country, especially technology, IT, technology, sales, still a little bit too much communism, closed economy. So the real commercial talent, it's coming, but don't forget where the country is coming from. Closed economy, when you have a monopoly, a sales agent just collects POs, purchase orders. It doesn't sell anything, because there's no choice. I mean, if you are alone, you're not selling. Don't confuse yourself. When you have a monopoly, you're not sales. You're not in sales, because there's no choice. Sales is when there's competition. So I think historically, I mean, we come from an economic system that was closed economy with limited competition. I mean, not just the telco. I mean, the banking sector, it's like 10, 15 years that there was real competition that started. So the commercial skills around marketing, sales, distribution is very good. Very good skills on distribution. But the real, market economics, the market competition, that are skills that we're still building. But technology, the best on the continent. And I've worked in... You got my list. 8 or 9 countries. Technology skills, IT skills, the best on the continent. I can confidently say that. And that is now what we're going to start exporting.
So were you like part of a lot of recruitment, especially for higher level?
Yeah. Grandfather principle. I have gray hair, so I'm almost a grandfather. Grandfather principle. Okay. So I do the final interview on the last 2 or 3 candidates, depending, but usually 2. So the last 2 shortlisted candidates for the direct reports of my direct reports. So I have an executive team that report to me. If they want to recruit somebody, so that is 2 layers below me. So I have 1 layer of executive. So the layer below that, so my -2. The executive will propose 2 candidates, and I will take the final decision, of course, in consensus. Most of the times, it's a consensus kind of decision. But I will always interview the final 2 shortlisted candidates of the direct reports of my direct reports. Grandfather principle or grandmother, depending.
So what have you seen? Like you mentioned, one of the things like talents being strong on the technology side, and as a country, we need to work on the sales side. But beside that, what have you seen on the talents here? Like
amazing talent. But I mean, let just the numbers talk. 140 million people. Education system, I think, is good, and people are motivated to learn. Especially young people. We have half of our workforce is below 30. So excluding me, of course. I'm on the other half. But young talent. First of all, there are many people, Unfortunately, jobs are not that many. Okay, let us also, we're still growing the economy. The opportunities are not, endless. So you have a big pool to tap into, and many young people very motivated, very, very, very excited about the job opportunity. So we have a program called GMT, Graduate Management Training. So we pick 50 to 100 graduate trainees, straight from university, zero experience, on a 1 year or 2 year program to run in the company, to learn on the job. We are now at season 3. So this is the 3rd time that we're doing this. And out of about the first season, first batch and second batch, in total there were 150 graduate management trainees. We employed on full-time basis after the graduate training program being finished, I think 90%. And most of them are still with the company. So investing in young people in Ethiopia, absolutely the right thing to do. I don't want to exclude all the people, but the talent, the young talent, is there. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And the local companies, they don't have the culture, the capacity to actually give them the right environment for.
That's when you have a legacy network or when you have a legacy company, you first need to fire a few people before you can hire. Well, for us, we are just hiring, we're just growing. Okay, now we have reached about 1,000 staff. So it's not like we are hiring endlessly, but we have been able to really recruit and build a team.
That's quite still big. 1,000.
1,000 people directly employed, about 800, 750 roughly in Addis, and about 200, 250 in the regions, up country. We're solid organization, the proper organization. And the layer, so the -2, we call them the EHOT level. So you have the chief level, executive, and then the layer below, we call them EHOTs, head of department, executive head of department. So they are now about 80 EHOT level. Since I came over the last 3 years, that EHOT level now is, I think 75 out of 80 are now Ethiopians, and 60 out of the 80 are less than 1 year on the job.
Wow.
Internal promotion, most of them.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Well, it's, the future leaders, that's the investment you have to make. You take a bet on them. Somebody took a bet on me 25 years ago and see what happened. So why should I not take a bet on some young people?
But how do you guys train these people?
On the job, exposure. We also send more than 100 people to other countries within the Vodacom family, Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa, immersion. We call it immersion program. So in the early days, now it's a bit less, but in the first 2-3 years, more than 100 people went for 2 weeks, 2 months, depending on the area, went to South Africa, Kenya, Tanzania to shadow and get exposure. Being a closed country for a long time, I'm not saying anything wrong with that. Exposure is what is missing sometimes. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So by getting exposed to other countries, other environments, the wealth, the richness in terms of your experience, multiplies. I can sit in a meeting with 10 people in the room. After the meeting, I will tell you who has traveled and who has not traveled. It's very obvious, very visible. Exposure is so important, because it allows you to see things from a different angle. You only know what you know. You don't know what you don't know. So when going out and traveling and seeing here and there, you get a much wider perspective of things, and you put things into context. So really encouraging that. In the early days, we did it far more, probably now a bit less, but exposure. Experience is one thing. Exposure, being exposed and being able to interact with counterparts in different countries also helps, to get that exposure. So I'm a big fan of sending people for some time. Okay. If you go for 2-3 days, that's not exposure. That's just a little holiday paid for by the company. 2-3 weeks or 1 or 2 months allows you, to be more than just a little tourist, to really understand. And then you come back and you understand things much better from a different perspective.
Could you profile like which if Safaricom, what kind of customer segmentation modality do you have?
Well, we started as a data network, mobile data network. So our initial, growth phase was very much around data customers. As I said before, now we are more and more diversifying with our expanded coverage. We're also now tapping into the voice market, and then digital services. The demand for data is just, crazy. So also don't fix what is not broken. The data strategy is working. Let's continue. So we are very, very passionate around quality. Quality of service. It's important. People want, the tolerance level of, buffering. So you're live streaming and then, it stops. So you're watching Messi and then it stops for 1 second, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. The tolerance level with our customers is they don't tolerate that anymore. So you have to be able to do a live stream. That I think is now like the minimum viable standard of mobile data is that you can get an uninterrupted, without any buffering, live stream. That's the minimum people want. If you can't deliver that, it's like, this thing is not working. And young people are very excited about data, but they're also very demanding. The older generation that didn't know about mobile data, their tolerance level of poor quality is much higher than the young people. They don't forgive you on poor quality.
And they grow up on an internet time, and the internet was faster. They haven't. There are some generation now they haven't seen 2G or 3G.
You say, what G are you talking about? It has to work.
Just it need to work. You didn't have to think twice.
So quality is important. Quality.
And a lot of international calls. Now a lot of people also do international jobs.
WhatsApp calls.
There are a lot of international calls, like whether it's especially for developers. Like you have a meeting, stand-up meeting. It could be Teams, it could be Google Meet, all this Zoom.
And COVID actually changed everything when it comes to that. We had the tool, that Teams existed before COVID.
Yes.
It wasn't invented during COVID. It existed, but nobody was using it. So COVID was a real accelerator in terms of using those technologies. And now, if you have an interruption on your Teams call, it's like an embarrassment. It's not tolerated.
There are people also that works now, like outsourcing businesses.
It's big, by the way, in Ethiopia. So we have a lot of guys. They call it moonlighting, because when the moon at night, they actually work for a company in the US where it's daytime, moonlighting. A solid, reliable internet connection is like the minimum standard that is required. So we have to deliver on that. That's why we need to keep on investing, because the more customers you get, the more your quality will go down. So you need to continue adding capacity so that everybody keeps having access to that minimum standard.
I see. How about M-Pesa? We didn't mention about that.
M-Pesa, M-Pesa. Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a digital financial services, extremely successful in other countries. In Kenya, Tanzania, DRC. There's in Kenya you can't live without M-Pesa. You have no M-Pesa, you have no life. Okay, it's mandatory almost by design. It's very big and I mean extremely successful. We have been recognized all over the world, all the way from Washington to Hong Kong to you name it, as an amazing African invention. That mobile money, that M-Pesa story is really big. Here in Ethiopia, the story is different. Okay, in Kenya, when we launched 18 or 19 years ago now, I think it was 2008, so 18 years ago, there were almost no banks. Very few people had a bank account, but there was a big challenge, a big problem of money transfer. So how do people transfer money from the town to the village? Is you go to the bus park, you give the conductor or the driver, you give him the money, and then say, in this village, this person will be waiting, and then you hand over the envelope. Okay. Sometimes the envelope disappeared.
Some don't might disappear, not the total envelope.
So M-Pesa came and solved a very big problem, which was domestic money transfer. So now you could, go to an agent, kiosk, an agent, you give him 1,000 birr, they put the 1,000 birr virtually on your phone, you transfer that 1,000 birr to your family member or whoever it is in the village, they receive the 1,000 birr on their phone, they go to an agent there and they cash out. So cash in, you put the 1,000 birr on your phone, then you transfer it to the other person, and then they do the cash out. So we really solved a big problem, domestic money transfer. Now, 18 years later, in Ethiopia, the domestic money transfer problem was not or is not as big as it was in Kenya or Tanzania 18 years ago. You have an amazing asset, Commercial Bank of Ethiopia. They have 2,000 branches. The biggest bank in Kenya today, not 18 years ago, but today has 200 branches.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the domestic money transfer problem in Ethiopia today is nothing compared to the problem what we solved in many other countries 15 or 18 years ago. So the whole journey of M-Pesa and the success story of M-Pesa was built on money transfer. Then afterwards also international money transfer, people sending diaspora, sending money home. So that was another big use case where we really revolutionized the whole journey. So in Ethiopia, the story is very different. Here we go straight into digital payments. When you see the government with their Digital Ethiopia 2030, Vision 2030, they are on a very, ambitious journey of digitizing the entire economy, including the payments. They're really promoting digital payments. This is different. M-Pesa started with transferring money. Now we are talking about digital payments and then digital banking. So yes, we still appear as M-Pesa, but our biggest competitor is actually CBE, digital banking. I mean, many people have a smartphone. Data network, you need a smartphone. If you have a smartphone, you can download a banking app. Okay, with a banking app, you can do a lot of stuff. So again, the understanding of the local market is so important to define the right strategy. You cannot come into Ethiopia in 2026 and say we're going to do exactly the same that we did in Tanzania in 2010 and just copy paste in a different country 15 or 20 years later. That doesn't work. So we took some time to really understand the problem that you want to solve. If you launch a new service, you have to solve a problem. Okay, you have to get some excitement around your product. I mean, why would people use your product if it's not exciting, if it's not making their life easier or better or cheaper? I mean, you have to come with a unique value proposition, you call it in business. So I think we finally cracking it on M-Pesa. We're going very big on digital payments. So the strategy is different. The journey of M-Pesa in Ethiopia is very different from the journey of M-Pesa in Kenya, but we are on a good journey, and we are aligned to the policy and the ambition of the government. They want to go very fast and very big on digital, so we are at the right place at the right time. But not to do domestic money transfer, because that problem has been solved in the past largely by CBE, a very big network. But here we are solving a different problem, is to go cashless. So we are here with our fintech business. Difficult, it has been a bit of a challenge. I won't deny that, but we're on a good journey.
How many customers do you have on
5 million. So 1 out of 3 on Safaricom using M-Pesa only.
I see.
So again, half full of half empty. You can look at it both ways again. 5 out of 15. So why not 15 out of 15? Good question. So that's my job, to make sure that we get to that. Everybody on Safaricom also uses M-Pesa, but the journey is different. When you have to explain that to shareholders, to stakeholders. Safaricom is listed on the Nairobi Stock Exchange. So, to tell the investors that this is a different journey, again, it's managing expectation. Managing expectation. Part of my job is managing expectation.
I would see people saying how would M-Pesa would work in Ethiopia? Because in Kenya, I have been to Kenya many times, and I always feel foreigner, because people get always shocked when I pull out cash. They get shocked in every place I go when I pay with cash. They just you don't have M-Pesa? I say I don't. You just feel so foreigner in the country without it.
Get the Safaricom line.
When I go there, it's just for short time most of the time to Kenya. But maybe next time I go.
No, please do. But it's again an exciting journey where we are on the right track with what we're doing. Took a bit of time to get it right, but now we are on the right track. So watch out. M-Pesa is coming.
There's a lot of signs to say, watch out, we're coming.
I think all of the on price, and our questions will be on price and competition related things. I think Safaricom made a huge price change. Whether the strategy or with some change in the market that forced it to make such kind of price adjustments.
Well, the competition reduced or lowered the price drastically just before we entered the market. So I think the biggest achievement for Ethiopia, for Safaricom entering the market, is that telecom services became far cheaper. Not necessarily by using Safaricom, but also by using the competition. So that was a strategic move of reducing the price. A preemptive strike, you call it. You attack before you get attacked. Very smart. I admire. They know what they're doing. So they lowered the price, but to a level, and I will not get any popularity votes here, but to a level that actually is not sustainable. Okay, nobody likes to hear that when I say that, but it's the truth. You cannot systematically sell a product below cost. Now, it's very simple. If you do that, you'll go bankrupt. So we have reached a level of pricing in the markets that is not sustainable. It's too low. Nobody wants to hear that when I say that, but it's the truth, because you need so much money to invest. And the biggest misconception around telco is to think that the 100 birr that you pay to buy a bundle, is profit. Forget about that. It cost $1.5 billion plus $850 million for the license to get started. So that is an investment that has been made upfront. It's like building a house and then you rent it out. That rent is not profit. That rent that you collect is required to pay back the loan that you took for the next 10 years because of the investment you made of building the house. It's the same story. We've put a lot of money up front. And now when we're selling our services, that goes, to pay back the investment, and you need to make a profit because you need to invest another $1 billion. Yeah. And that money has to come from somewhere. So in the short term, customers will feel very happy if the price goes down. Happy days. But in the long term, if us and even competition, don't reach a level of sustainable pricing, you don't have the financial muscle to continue investing. Remember, one tower, 5,000 people. Yeah. Now, if the 5,000 is full, you need another tower. You need to have money to build that other tower. So you need to be profitable for you to continue the investment. The initial investment, you take money from the bank. But the moment in time, you need to start becoming profitable so that you can self-fund. First of all, you need to pay back your loan, and then you need to have extra money to continue the investment. So in the long term, customers actually suffer because the industry will not be profitable enough to continue the investment. As a country, Ethiopia as a country, we need between $3 and $5 billion of additional investment in telecom infrastructure. Today, not everybody is using data. There are still 100 million Ethiopians who do not use the data, who do not have the infrastructure or the access to the infrastructure. So we still have so much investment to make that you need to be able to sell your services at a sustainable price level. I know I've not made many friends here by saying that. I understand. Yeah. Okay. But the industry, and we are on a journey of what I call price rationalization. You have packages where for $10, I'm not going to say it in dollars. Don't forget that an important portion of the investment is in dollars. Yeah. For us and for competition is the same. We don't make our own telco equipment. You need to import it from China or Europe. That's in Forex, that's in foreign currency. So for $10 or $12, you can get unlimited mobile internet for a whole month. There's no country in the world where you can get that. And people who travel, they know they know very well that is a value proposition that is unsustainable. So there has to be some kind of a rationalization so that the industry becomes, sustainable, so that we can invest. What the country needs, Digital Ethiopia requires another $3, $4, $5 billion of investment, and we are going to do that. But
as an industry, or like just
as an industry? Okay, so one or two will come from us, and others, will do the rest. The opportunity is so big. Even a third operator one day will probably enter the market, but they will only enter if it's a sustainable business model. So there's a lot of additional investment that is required, and you have to be in a healthy industry before you can do that investment. So we're getting there. We were a bit too low. We're now getting to a level where it's becoming a bit more rational. We learn. Everybody learns, not just me.
It's progressing the price.
So looking at Safaricom, do you think other new operators would be excited to come? What the reading looks like?
Well, other investors, not just telco investors, but also in other industries, are looking at Safaricom, how we are doing. We are the biggest foreign direct investment. Our success is the trigger that will allow other businesses, other international multinationals to come and invest in Ethiopia. We are being watched, okay? And we're having a lot of support from government, because they also know that if we fail, somehow, this will reflect on the investment appetite or climate of the country, and nobody again wants to be associated with failure. Everybody wants success, and success has many fathers. Failure is an orphan, you know that. So everybody wants to be associated with success. So it is in everybody's interest, our interest, but also Ethiopia as a country and government, for us to be successful. So we have a lot of support. Sometimes people, government is our biggest supporter, because we are the first child of the homegrown economic reform in terms of foreign direct investment, and many others want to come, but they will not come if we're not successful. So we are on a very good trajectory, and we disclose our financial results on a quarterly basis to the stock exchange, so everybody has visibility on how we are doing, and the figures are improving every quarter. So the confidence is there for other people to come and invest, including a third operator one day. For sure, they will come. There are countries with, where I worked in with 3 million people that have 3 operators. Why would a country with 140 million people not have 3 operators? Okay,
even more.
Well, no, 3 is okay.
He has a theory of having more is bad for the economy. Why?
Well, if you have too many operators, you actually become less efficient. Yeah? So there is 4 operators. Ethiopia could handle 4 operators. Yeah, there are certain countries, small countries, 2, because you need some competition. Others 3, maximum 4. Actually, the history shows over the last 10-15 years that no country has been able to accommodate more than 4 operators. Yeah, even the biggest countries like Nigeria, 4 operators. China, 3 operators. Country like China, 1 billion people. India
3 operators.
Yeah, China has 3 operators. India, more than 1 billion people. They tried 7, 8, 9 operators. They all had to consolidate. 4 operators. So a country, the size of Ethiopia, 3 is fine. 4 would be a bit ambitious.
A bit stretch.
Let's go from 2 to 3 first, instead of 2 to 4. But the industry has to be healthy. And that's not yet healthy. So, but it's coming.
But what the problem with money? Why it can't work?
The structure that you need to put in the ground is heavy. It's a heavy upfront infrastructure. And then if you have so many competitors, everybody will compete on price. The customers are going to be very happy in the short term, until again, the industry is not profitable. Everybody stops investing. The quality of service collapses. And then you start consolidating the industry. That's what you've seen in India. India is a beautiful example of how the whole industry had to rationalize and consolidate with the 3, I think now, 3 actually operators, because it was not sustainable. Nobody was making money. Nobody was investing. Customers didn't get quality of service. Everybody unhappy. The shareholders unhappy. Customers unhappy. Government unhappy. They had to consolidate, rationalize. People don't just want cheap. They also want good, huh?
Yeah.
If it's very cheap but it doesn't work,
it has no use.
It's meaningless.
Yeah.
So you have to have, as I said, that minimal viable standard of quality. You want to make a WhatsApp call without being interrupted. Yeah. You want to watch a live stream continuously. That requires investment.
I have recently seen on social media on both telecom complaints on the internet speed.
Share with me, I'll fix it.
No, I just saw like a couple of LinkedIn posts.
Yeah. The more customers you get, the more, you're all sharing the same infrastructure. So the best network in the world is the one that only has one customer. You'll have the best speeds ever. You get 10 customers, you get 100 customers, you get 1,000 customers, you had 1 million customers, you have 10 million. The more customers you have, you're all sharing the same infrastructure. So if you don't add additional infrastructure, the quality will go down, because you're sharing the same resources with more people. It's like a pizza, or a big injera. If you have one injera and you invite 5 people, you'll have a decent piece. If you invite 10 people, well, your slice will be half, because now you need to cut it in 10 pieces. Yeah. So that's the same on the telco network. The more customers you have, the more injeras you need to feed everybody, because and so it requires investment. There's no secret behind it.
I see.
There's no magic. It requires investment.
What do you see an opportunity in the market, like for future to grow, for Safaricom to expand?
Well, first of all, to expand from 60% population to cover 95 or 100% population, everybody, and it's not just a business opportunity. There's also firm belief. Everybody in the world, whether you're in Europe, you're in Africa, you're in Ethiopia, wherever you are, everybody has the right to get access to the mobile digital world. That is something, that keeps me going. That's my passion.
Even though they don't pay, they have a right?
Oh, no. Nothing is free. The right to access.
Access. If they pay.
Yeah. Well, I can't give them access if it's free. Then I can't invest. But everybody has to have the opportunity to get access to that new digital world. I mean, think about it. I grew up with pen and paper. Yeah, you go to school, you had the blackboard or the whiteboard, writing. Today, schools is about computer, is about laptop, is about iPads. You can't study now if you don't have access to technology. And our mobile network allows for that access. So I have a firm belief that everybody is entitled to get access to that technology. So we need to expand our network. Of course, that's one obvious opportunity. There's still a big opportunity also to invest in fixed technology. More fiber to the home. Still massive opportunity to also expand in that area. As much, as we've invested a lot in mobile technology, there is also big opportunity in fixed digital services, that go beyond, just the standard, streaming, but gaming, digital services, there's a lot to do. And a lot of the things that will make us more successful will not be ourselves who do it, but the ecosystem, will come up, and you need to build an ecosystem of people who will come up with inventions, with new ideas, and you will build, they will be the ones. My GMTs, my graduate trainees, they are the ones who will come up with the idea. So you're asking the question to the wrong guy. I will listen to my graduate trainees, and they will tell me the product that we need to sell next year. They will know it. I don't know, but I will listen and I will turn it into business. That's why, you need young people, new ideas. You need a bit of experience, but also, new ideas, like AI. If you look at AI today, 2 years ago, nobody was talking about AI. Let's be honest. Nobody. A few, AI, what, they think, what nonsense is. Today, AI, give it another 1 year, it will have completely transformed things. So it's not like that in advance, but you need to understand the trends and what really is relevant, and go with the flow. So a lot of the products and services that we will sell in 3 years from now are not yet there. So what is the big opportunity? Well, continue investing. That's a massive opportunity. But how it will be used in future, the future will tell. I don't know.
Like, how do you see the new satellite-based companies, especially by Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, coming to Africa? How do you see their impact to telecom sector in general?
It's a great opportunity, and it's a great threat. Let me explain both sides. Opportunity is that if we have to cover Avdera, you've been there?
Yeah.
You drive 100 kilometers, you don't see anybody. So if we have to build towers to cover that entire area, or Ouagadougou, the Somali side, and all of that, if we have to build towers to cover that area, it is loss making by design. It's impossible to get a return on investment. So the traditional way of building network in those areas with very, very low population is just not economically sustainable. So satellite is a massive opportunity to bring those services to everybody, because the connection, you don't need a tower, you can do it through the satellite. So as a complementary technology, it's a great opportunity to actually give 100% of Ethiopia coverage. Yeah. On the other hand, it can also, look at a bit of a threat, because some of those guys, they don't play according to the rules. They make their own rules. And they're in the satellite, in the sky, so they don't feel like they need to obey the local regulation. We are a regulated industry. I cannot just do what I want. I have a regulator, a referee, who defines the rule of the game. Yeah, that's the nature of the industry. You can't wake up tomorrow morning and say, "Oh, I'm going to build a mobile telco network in Ethiopia." You don't have a license. You don't have a license to operate. Yeah. So the threat is that some of these satellite companies think that they are above the local law, above the local sovereignty, and actually impose their own rules of the game. And that's where in some jurisdictions, in some countries, you see that it's not working, because the local regulator says, no, you cannot just come and hang your satellite and bypass or infiltrate, undermine, the local operators by just doing what you want. So there is always going to be some kind of regulation, and I think government, ECA, Ethiopian Communications Authority, is working on a framework where satellites will be allowed, I think, but it will be regulated. It will not be cowboys, Wild West. That will not work. That will not work. So let's see how that space evolves. But it's exciting. Being an engineer as I am, it's exciting to the new technology.
Yeah.
But you have all different ways. So you have different ways of the satellite technology, and we will be part of that. We will partner with the right people, subject to the right level of regulation and authorization. So I look at it positively. I don't look at it as they're going to wipe out our business. No, they will be complementary to what we are doing, but subject to licensing.
But there are also, they have been working with like telecom companies, these satellite companies.
That's the model that works when they partner. When they partner, it works for them. It works for us. It works for the country. It works for everybody.
Yeah, they do. But in some cases, they also directly go to the consumer.
Which is difficult.
I think South Africa managed it with Jeff Bezos' company to do with a local.
Yes.
Elon Musk wants to do it by himself.
Yes.
And I think in similar countries, he managed to do it in South Africa.
Yeah, in South Africa and most other countries, it will be through a partnership with a mobile operator. Because that's the model that people are more comfortable with.
So in South Africa, they're doing that?
Through an operator.
They're doing?
Yeah.
I see. So that's safer for them.
Yeah.
Because also, it's all very exciting. Oh, satellite, this and that. But, let's not forget, Mr. Musk, if he wakes up and says, okay, I'm going to switch off Ethiopia, it's off, like he did in Ukraine.
Yes, it was an actual case.
So sovereign states don't like that somebody in the sky can just overrule their own jurisdiction. That's not healthy. So come on, we don't want to be ruled by one guy in the sky.
And this was a critical time, so the war time.
Yes.
And the time you needed the most.
Yeah, exactly.
But is there like any innovation on the telecom side to look at as an option the satellites?
So with one of the satellite companies, not the Starlink. Everybody talks Starlink, but there are many other satellite companies that are emerging. So one of them is called AST. Other one is the Amazon, the
Blue Origin.
Voila.
Something else, yeah.
Yeah,
Something else?
Yeah, its name is something else.
Oh, like the telecom side of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
then you have some Chinese companies that are also
I heard about that as well.
launching satellites. It's a busy space up there. Many satellites, thousands of satellites. But so the AST, the one with the new technology, the way you have to look at it is actually that there is a tower, a base station. We call it a telco tower. The satellite will actually be a telco tower moving around. It's like a tower in the sky, which will allow you to make a phone call and to browse the internet directly with your handset using the tower in the sky. The Starlink one, you need a dish, huh? So don't get overexcited about Starlink. Starlink will not allow you for now to take your smartphone and to browse the internet. You need a dish and you need to point it to a particular azimuth on the sky to pick the signal. So it's static internet. It's ISP, Internet Service Provider. It's not mobile technology. While this other satellite provider will allow you to actually use your handset to make a phone call and to browse the internet using your handset. It will be really mobile. Starlink for now is static in the same place. You don't move around. You can't move around with your dish. You put it on your roof and you point it to the right satellite, and that's it. While this other technology will allow you to make mobile calls.
Are there now, like for Safaricom Ethiopia, if there's let's say a company in a remote area to provide internet, like with a different form of like with satellite or no?
Yeah, so we already have some satellite solutions, but the big innovation, let's give the credit to Elon Musk. I'm sure maybe he's listening. but I don't know how big you guys are, we'll find out. You never know.
Never say never.
But the great innovation that he has done is that, first of all, the satellites are at low orbit. So remember what I was talking about, the latency. So you go all the way up and all the way down. The closer the satellite is to the Earth, the shorter the distance that you have to cover. So the latency is much lower. So his real, revolutionary contribution to the industry is that he has managed to reduce the cost of shooting a satellite up in the air. He has reduced the cost by a factor 100. With his reusable launching rockets. That you've seen those images, those rockets coming back and then the arm picking it up. That has drastically reduced the cost per kilogram. So what they're looking at is the cost per kilogram to shoot the satellite up in the air. He has reduced that cost by 100. Compared to what it was 10 years ago. So that has allowed them to shoot up thousands, literally thousands of satellites up in the sky at low orbit, so with very low latency. Still, there is a bit of latency, but low compared to the satellites that are much higher up in the sky. And, this is a revolution. What he has done in terms of, reducing the cost to shoot the satellite in the sky is mind-blowing. But there is a limit to it. You can't put 1 million satellites up. They each have their own, area in which they can move, and so it's going to be a crowded place. But that is a revolution. That's that technology of the old days of NASA. Very expensive. Well, he commercialized this, privatized the whole space industry. Before, there was no private company in space. He privatized the space together with his buddy, or competitor Bezos. They wanted to be the first in space, and that has created an amazing technology revolution. And that's why you see that entrepreneurship, private initiative, can actually do miracles. That government, NASA, or the Europeans or Japanese, they all have their government agency to do space. well, they weren't really concerned too much about the cost, and they were happy to do whatever they were doing, put a man on the moon and this and that. Okay, fine. But it's when competition came, when private initiative came, that the creativity of mankind managed to do things that 20 years ago impossible. Nobody could think that today we're shooting, thousands of satellites up the space for a fraction of the cost of what it was 20 years ago. Yeah. So private initiative, entrepreneurship, creativity, human creativity. This is amazing, what technology can do.
Absolutely.
It's the engineer talking now.
Absolutely.
But we talked a bit about talents earlier on.
Yeah.
So like you have managed a lot of team across Africa. So how is it different leading a team in Ethiopia?
Well, first of all, we're all human, so that makes us pretty much the same, but you have different humans. Without, I have to be careful that I don't simplify things, but generally, average Ethiopian is a bit different from the average Nigerian. Okay, I think I can say that confidently, without insulting or anybody. But Nigeria, even before you say something, they were already they respond to a question that you haven't even asked. So it's pretty direct, pretty rough and tough. But at least you know where you're standing. So quite different here. I think people generally are a bit more reserved. There's nothing wrong with that. But of course, you have to understand people will not spontaneous, or not everybody will spontaneously tell you what they think. So it requires a little bit different approach, maybe a little bit more softer approach. You have maybe to gain a little bit more confidence, you have to feel at ease. People will not naturally share all the details of their life just like that. So sometimes it's a bit more difficult to know who is who and how to really engage. In Nigeria, it's very fast. They will just throw it in your face. Nigeria, Cameroon, Central Africa, pretty Congo, it's also tough. So it's different. So the general engagement, you need to be patient enough in Ethiopia generally to allow people to express themselves. You have to create the safe space and environment, but once people accept you and trust you, also very easy in the interaction. So I think you need a little bit more time and effort to invest in the relationship, but once it is established, it's probably more solid than the Nigerian one.
You have to poke a lot of holes to figure out what's going on. Not
everything is first degree. So you need to take your time to scratch the surface a little bit to get to the point. People sometimes tell me something and it's like, but what are they saying? Well, what is the message here? I need to rewind the movie and listen again. You have to, sometimes it's a bit subtle in the way people communicate. So, but again, with a lot of exposure, working in many different countries, it's for you to adapt. Mistake you can't afford to make is to expect people to adapt to you. You have to make the effort to adapt as much as you can to the environment, to the the way people interact. So yeah, it's fun.
What do you think most expats might miss in Ethiopia or misunderstood about Ethiopia into the market?
As an expat, as a foreigner, I interact with some of them, of course. Many diplomats are operating and living in Ethiopia. Some of our colleagues, of course. Is the food. No, I mean the many people are challenged by the
food here.
The food, yeah. I mean that's a common thread.
Is it too spicy?
I mean, it's not a complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the spicy, and also some of the things that expat community you are used to, you can't find, or difficult to find, or very expensive to buy. Okay, so that's a reality. Like the supermarkets. If you go to any supermarket in Addis, what you find there is a bit different from most other places where the expats are moving. In other countries. Yeah. Again, you need to adapt. Okay, if you can't stand it, then you're at the wrong place. But that is a common thread. So, like, especially in the beginning, when you come, you go to the supermarket. Yeah, it's different. It's different.
I see.
But you need to adapt.
Yeah.
So many people are waiting for Carrefour to come.
Right.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
I mean, Carrefour can be here. That's fine. But let's see what is inside the Carrefour.
I think there would be a lot of changes I'm expecting.
Yeah, but for many people, it's a bit of a surprise because Addis is a very big, important diplomatic hub.
Yeah.
African Union is here, so it's like the third or the fourth biggest diplomatic hub in the world. So many foreigners are actually living here from all countries all over the world. So people are expecting when they come here to find that expat life, which is a bit different. Okay, need to adapt. It's not a complaint. It's just a comment.
Yeah, it's just a market reading.
I'm very happy here and I'm healthy, so I'm eating.
But what are the one thing you would say like they also misunderstood or like they might not get it? Like for a foreigner and an expat, like it could be a CEO who's going to lead a new company coming to Ethiopia from other economies. Like if you can give them a lecture about how to fit in or how to operate well,
take your time.
Okay,
take your time to learn and listen. You need to invest enough of your time to understand the country. I've been here now 3 years. I'm not going to say that I've understood Ethiopia. Okay, maybe another 3 years. I'm still learning. I'm still discovering. You need to be patient and humble enough to understand the environment in which you're living and operating, and then you will be successful. But you need to make the effort. It's for you to adapt. It's not for Ethiopia to adapt. It's for you to adapt to Ethiopia. And once you've, understand the basics of how to operate, it's actually a great place to live. Yeah, I like it here. I've done 3 years. I'm going to do another 3 and maybe after that another, who knows? But it's a nice place to live. But you need to take enough time and invest enough effort in understanding the environment. You can't come and think, why is it like this and that, and get annoyed or upset, or you need to invest, and then you will like it. Many people are very happy here. I mean, foreigners, but not all of them, because you don't take enough time. You will hurt yourself.
I think especially with expats who has experience in other African countries, they might expect to be the same. I think Ethiopia has its own unique culture,
and so you need to respect that. Otherwise you'll be very frustrated. They say if you go to Rome, you do like the Romans.
Yeah.
You come to Ethiopia, you do like the Ethiopians. You'll be happy. Okay. Not everything, maybe, but at least the minimum.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting country. I mean, I've traveled around to all the corners. Basically everywhere where there is an airport, I visited. Last weekend I was in Debre Marcos. Very nice place, nature, green, fertile. Okay, they have their challenges. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, to say the things the way they are, the security outside of the town is a challenge. You can drive up to X kilometer and then, say, no, stop here. But I'm privileged because I've been able to travel. I've seen a lot of the country, and it's exciting. It's so diverse. Nature-wise, climate-wise, people-wise, culture-wise, it's there's not one Ethiopia. There are many Ethiopia, from Gode to Asosa to Adigrat. It's very diverse, very exciting, and very rich in culture. The country, because of no colonization, I think has been able to preserve so much authenticity that other countries lack, because it's gone, because it's been destroyed. That fortunately, Ethiopia has not gone, as a country, has not gone through that trauma. I call it a trauma. And so, if you're interested about culture and see how people have lived for many years, Ethiopia is the right place to be. Culturally speaking, it's an amazing place to be. You have the Orthodox religion. I was an altar boy, so when I was still young, I was an altar boy and a Catholic. Okay. I'm Europe Catholic, so I know a little bit. My religious background. It's very exciting. When I see the Orthodox, without favoring any. I'm not here to favor any religion over another. Don't get me wrong, but just the churches, the decorations, the celebrations that you have. When you have a bit of an open mind, it's very exciting to see how that has evolved. Like the church split, 300 years after Christ. I think the Orthodox Church, Ethiopian Church, went on its own and basically isolated. So you have saints that in Europe, we created our own saints in the last 1,000 years, which of course here and they don't exist because it went different ways. You have the more original. I think the Orthodox is the more original version of Christianity than the Roman Catholic Church, which they had to invent Christmas trees, which there was no Christmas tree in Jerusalem in 2,000 years ago. That's something that was invented to get the Europeans on board. The history of the Christmas tree. It was a festival of light in Germany. There were around 22nd of December, which was the darkest day of the year because of the sun. So end of December was the darkest period, and so they were burning pine trees. Which come from Northern Europe. There are no pine trees in Jerusalem in Israel. The pine tree comes from Northern Europe. And so there was a festivity of light. So they had figured out that around this time of the year, the days were getting longer again. The shortest day of the year is 21st of December in the Northern Hemisphere. And so those guys, they had figured out that around that time, the days were getting longer again. So they were celebrating the Festival of Light by burning their pine trees. And that's how Christmas is on the 25th of December in the Catholic Church. It's just because they were taking that Festival of Lights and with the Christmas tree, and they put it together, and that's how they managed to convince those pagans in Germany to adopt the Catholic religion by absorbing part of their traditional things, which of course here didn't happen. So I find it a bit funny when I move around with the Ethiopian Christmas, and I also see the Christmas tree. No, that is not authentic. There were no Christmas trees 1,000 years ago. This is a new thing. I'm sure if you ask your grandparents, they will tell you there was no Christmas tree when we were young. I'm sure about that. So those things, I'm passionate about that. Even the Muslim religion, that Harar. Harar in the Muslim faith is like the fourth most important holiest city in the Middle East. Muslim, Mecca, Medina, Jerusalem, and then Harar. So it goes back to like 8th or 9th century. Harar was already on the map of Muslim faith. So it's the history that comes together here in Ethiopia is amazing. I had the chance to travel to Worku, out north of Mekelle, where
Al-Najash.
Yes, where there's the refugees who actually interacted with the Prophet Muhammad. They were chased away, and they came into Ethiopia, and they're actually buried on a hilltop. That's amazing. That is 1,300 years ago. Okay, so Ethiopia has been, in world history all the way back to the 2,000 and more years ago. Aksum. I visited Aksum. I was speechless. It's amazing, the history, the culture that is there. Ethiopia has been on the intersection of many many civilizations. The Persians, the Indians, the Arabs. Christianity. There was the world actually turned around the Red Sea. And Ethiopia was there. Ethiopia conquered Yemen. Yes, Yemen was occupied by Ethiopia. Okay, so you were part of one of the pillars of ancient civilization, and that you can go and like visiting Gondar, the castle in Gondar. Amazing stuff. They're now renovating it. I was there about a year ago. When you visit that, it's mind blowing. And then all these special places, and the Adwa story. I went to that. Almost like the border, the Eritrean border, the battle there. You have such a rich culture. Nature is also crazy. Up there, you've been to the how do you call it, the volcano. I was there. I slept in open air the night. Unique in the world. The three places in the world where you can see that. The bubbling, the sulfat, the green lake, the depression. How do you call it? Dako. Dalo depression. Minus 100 meters below sea level. Unique. There is 2 or 3 places in the world that are like that. And here we are in Ethiopia. You can just fly there, visit it. People would pay, a fortune to come and see that. I'm doing it while working. So I always try to combine, those travels up country to also do a little bit of culture, a little bit of history, a little bit of nature. So I love going up country and engage with the local teams on the ground, but also do a little bit of, culture and nature. Also, nature is amazing. Jinka side, Arba Minj, the lake, Jima, the coffee story around Jima. That it's rich. It's a rich country. So you need to make that effort to discover it. Right. By just sitting here in Addis, you won't discover Ethiopia. You won't know what the country really is about.
Ethiopia has also a problem of actually promoting itself quite well, even globally. All the things you mentioned can be packaged and really promoted quite well.
But you need
globally as well.
Peace and stability.
Of course.
Promoting tourism. I live here. I work with a big company. I can afford to do that. But promoting tourism in Ethiopia. I traveled up the Bali Mountains, 4,000 meter altitude. And the fox, the unique red fox. Saw him passed. If you can turn this into a tourism place, they're building lodges, at 4,000 meter altitude, overlooking, a crater lake. It's mind blowing, So if you can start promoting that, everybody would want to come and discover Ethiopia. It's rich in culture, in nature, in history. It's an amazing combination. But we need
peace.
Which is work in progress.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier also, we'll talk a lot about now leadership, and we were talking behind on camera as well, like how you're visiting and you're on the ground. Why is it so important for leaders to be on the ground, and how do you manage your time, like balancing between on the ground and having also overview of the company?
First of all, you need to be visible in the organization. You're the head of the organization, so you have to be visible, meaning you have to be present, because people want to see you. Just being, and moving around and being in the office. That's why I'm not a big fan of too much work from home, because you become invisible. So you have to be present. It's important in the office, and then the people on the ground outside of Addis, by definition, they feel abandoned. Okay, because they're not in the HQ, they're not in the headquarters, so they are in the periphery, if you want. So there you have to make an extra effort to go and visit them, to also show your presence. The others in the main office, they might see you daily basis. The others who are far away in Hawassa or Gambela, they don't see you at all. Okay, so you have to go and reach out to them. So first of all, physical presence is important. In leadership, you have to be present. You can't just do remote management. Okay, you can do a few meetings online, no problem, but you have to be visible. You have to be present, physically present. Okay, that's one. Two, when you talk to people on the ground who do the real work, you always discover things that nobody else told you. In the hierarchical levels, there's also filters, management filters, we call it. So all the information doesn't really go up, and also all the information doesn't always go down. At the different levels of hierarchy, there are filters up and filters down. So the story or the facts that you get in the boardroom are filtered. And you have to know that. I mean, you know that they're filtered. Doesn't mean that they are wrong, but they are filtered. Everybody wants to put the good news in front of the bad news. Okay, so the stories or the facts in a hierarchical organization, somehow there's always a bit of level of filtering upwards and downwards. So when you talk directly to the guy on the ground who does the real job, you sometimes get a different perspective. No, it's not like the others are lying to you. I mean, no, but it's just you get access to information, to realities on the ground that you might not have fully grasped because of the normal hierarchical reporting structure. So I like cutting, the chain and go directly to the guy on the ground and ask him, just have a conversation like we're having a conversation now. How are things going, and what do you think? What could we do better, and what are the challenges you're facing, and what? Just to have casual conversation. You always pick up something, to then go back to the office and say, this thing we can improve on that. So let's fix this. And then over time, you really get comfortable because you hear people talking more about business opportunity and less about problems. That means that you've been able to make an impact. The first few months I moved around, a lot of complaints. Now I move around, a lot of excitement around business, which means feel like we've been able to fix and the guys on the ground in the regions, they are closer to the action. In HQ you can hide. In the big HQ, whereas the customer, the customer is somewhere, I don't know, I don't see the customer. The customer is not in your face. Well, if you are in Jima and you move around, you interact with customers actually far more than the HQ people. And so the guys on the ground usually have a much closer interaction and relationship with customers than HQ. And so they will tell you far more about the pain points. ultimately the customer is always right. And so, yes, you can do surveys and, sophisticated studies about, customer feedback, blah, blah, blah. Fine, we do that. But talking to people who are customer facing is as valuable. That's why, sometimes you also have to go back to the call center and try to hear, my Amharic is really very poor, so I can't listen into a conversation, but I do read the reports of the call center where people, they call because there's a problem.
Yeah.
And so every week I will go through the top 20 call reasons. Why are people calling the call center? What is it that is bothering them? So I go through that and I have meeting with the technical team or the commercial team to understand, guys, people are complaining about this. What can we do to fix this? Customer feedback is very important. And on the ground, the guys on the ground, technology teams or commercial teams, of course, are more exposed to direct interaction with the customer than some of the HQ people who can hide. Custom corporate, I'm on the 12th floor. Customers are far. So it's two ways. It's internal to know what the teams are suffering from, what you can improve internally to make it a better organization, and also to get more direct customer feedback. That's why I travel a lot. And guys on the ground, usually they are more, action oriented. Because they have to deliver on specific commercial KPIs, so they usually are more open to share with you what the problem is and what the solution is in their mind. Yeah. Many of the solutions we've implemented came from discussions with staff.
Interesting. You are an engineer, like there are leaders like who come from technical background. Yeah. And there are leaders who come from social science mostly. Yeah. Like, what do you see in different leadership styles when it comes from engineering perspective and people who don't have? It looks like engineers have their own edge on leadership because of the thinking and behind the engineering.
Well, yeah, I do have an analytical mind. Okay, I'm quite good at mathematics.
Okay.
So if you come with a figure,
yeah,
you have to double check it, because if it's wrong, mathematics has been my passion. Okay, at school, I was very poor at languages and everything else. There were actually two topics, mathematics and history. Those were my two favorite topics. So yeah, mathematics is a bit of my thing. So, and a lot of, decision making is also based on figures and data points and, understanding trends and all of that. So, financial reporting is also figures. Yeah. So figures are important. Yeah. Of course, with figures alone, you don't manage a company, because the human factor. That's the chief empathy officer. I think is critical. So in the beginning, I was all about figures, because that was my area of comfort zone and strength. Over the years, with experience, you really understand that figures alone is not going to work. It's very limited. So the human factor, the empathy factor, and the human engagement is something I learned. Okay, I wasn't good at that. Okay, maybe I'm still not good at it, but at least a bit better. I hope. But I've learned that over the years, that it's more than figures. It's more than reporting. It's more than, KPIs, blah, blah, blah. So, in terms of engagement with the team, being an engineer, being analytical, being comfortable with my figures, the team knows that. They learned it the hard way. They get slammed once with the wrong figure. They make sure the next time they get it, they calculate it to be sure, because you don't want to. Everybody has their pride. Nobody wants to be embarrassed on some wrong information. So I like that when I see that they make the effort to manage they make sure that they double check whatever information you share, blah blah blah. It's pride also. Take some pride and honor in the work that you do. Nobody wants to go in front of their boss and be embarrassed on some stupid mistake that is on the slide. And that shows you the commitment that people have. And you take it seriously. Because you want to, you take pride in what you do. I like that. That's why I like Ethiopia. People take pride in what they do. Okay. So that's good because it raises the bar. When you're just careless and, I don't mind, whatever, I don't mind. That's not good. That's not the right attitude. So I like the fact that people take pride and they want to do it right and they want to do it, the correct way. So I suppose that my team also now knows more and more how I interact, and so they also adjust. I think they also adapt and make sure, that what they present and how they present it is accurate. Of course, it's, as I say, it's not just about figures, but figures are important. Financial performance, commercial performance is measured in figures. A lot of business is about figures. So I think that's why I'm a bit privileged. That talent that I have. It was given to me. I didn't do anything for it. Nature. Has been blessed me with that talent. Probably all other talents, many other talents, everybody comes with a package, you're born with a certain package of talent. It's up to you to develop the talent. The Bible story of the three brothers and the talent. Everybody is given a talent. That's it. That's the lottery. Like Ronaldo or Messi, okay, depending which side you are. They're born with a talent. Okay, so the question is, what do you do with it? So I think that applies to everybody in life. You're all born with a certain talent, with a certain skill. Life is, what do you do with it? What do you do with it? You bury the talent in the ground. You go and waste it, or you make something good out of it. Those are the three stories in the Bible, no? Yeah. True. So it's about what you do with your talent. So you've been blessed with that talent, fine. Then your obligation actually to society, to life, is to make something out of that talent. Yeah. So come back to the leadership, the leadership style, the engagement. I like it when people tell me the truth. It sounds obvious, but it's not that obvious.
Especially I think in corporate, it's not obvious.
There's a lot of sugar coating. A lot of and so people also learn the skill of managing upwards, and managing the boss. I hate that because you're being managed. I hate that. I don't like that. So I try to poke, as you say, poke it through, to poke the hole into it.
Then figure it. Yeah.
Let's cut the crap. Let's get to the point. Because, corporates, we all have pressure. We all have, targets. Can't afford to waste, maybe in parliament, I don't know, I'm not a politician, but maybe in parliament you can, go round and round and round and whatever, and talk and do lip service and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm not a politician. I'm not saying it's like that. But in corporate, I don't like politics. I want to stick to the facts and figures and, get action. I'm very action oriented.
What has been like the most challenge for you when you're especially here? And how do you handle it?
Well, the biggest challenge or the most difficult decision in leadership or in CEO in a corporate is to separate from employees, to fire people. I fired people, yeah, it's true. It's not something I like doing, but it's happening. And when I know tomorrow, I have to separate from this person or that person for whatever reason, it's not something that I'm looking forward to.
What was it, something you didn't tolerate and you let go people for?
Not delivering on your promise. I mean, if you say you're going to do something, do it. If you can't do it, tell me. You haven't done it for whatever reason. I know. many things that can't happen for whatever good reason. But I mean, be straightforward around that. Just going round and round and wasting time and what that my level of tolerance to that is very, very small. If you say you're going to do it, then do it. If you can't do it, tell me that you can't do it. But don't waste time. Don't go around in circles. Can't tolerate that. But okay, I mean, that's not the only dishonesty. Our levels of tolerance to corruption or stealing also very low. Ethical behavior is important, because you have to be able to trust. There are many things that people can do wrong, so you have to be able to trust. In the beginning of my career, also I had very big challenge in trusting people. Over time, I've improved. I'm still sometimes a little bit too much want to be in control. But over time, I've been able to entrust people more. In the beginning, I wanted to do everything myself, which of course is not possible. Yeah, it's not going to work. You can't be a CEO and you want to do everything yourself. So
you have to
delegation means trust. But trust doesn't mean do whatever you want to do. There's checks and balances. There are, reporting controls. The trust is a double story. You trust and you control.
Verify.
You verify. Blind trust is a bit foolish. Okay, it doesn't work like that. My shareholders or my board, they trust me, but they control me. So that's how corporate works. I mean, that's how everything works. I think. But I had to learn that over time to be most trustworthy. Not trustworthy, to be able to trust more the people I'm working with. And if you show that you don't trust them, it's a very difficult relationship, because mistrust, it's difficult to operate in that environment. So show them that you trust them, let them make a few mistakes, not too many, but I mean a few, and then you over time you become more of a coach and a mentor than just a boss. So that journey over 25 years, it's exceptional leaders that are born like that. Obama's, or the kind of guys, or Mandela, I suppose, also took his time, but to reach to that level of you're no longer the boss, but you're the mentor, you're the coach, you're the mentor, you're the the visionary leader. Not everybody reaches to that level, but it's a journey. And I can tell over the last 25 years, I've also evolved a bit on that journey of leadership. The dream of ultimate leadership is the visionary leader. They call in leadership courses, they call that the alchemist. Like the wizard of Oz, the alchemist, the ultimate wisdom, and people just come and sit and listen to your wisdom, and they get the inspiration and the leadership. Well, I haven't reached that level yet, but that's a journey of leadership, is to become the alchemist. And some people are born like that, very few, but many people, over time, can evolve into, more mature, advanced levels of leadership, where it's not about hierarchy. It's not, I am the boss. Okay, I'm not going to bang the table, but I am the boss, and you do what I want, my way or the highway. That's how I started. That's dictatorship. It works for a short period of time, but in the long term, those things don't work. So you have to evolve and mature your leadership into being the mentor, being the coach, being the the beacon of this is where we are going, and we follow. But it's a journey. I'm not yet there, but that's what you want to evolve into.
It becomes more than like control. It's more of like inspiring people to do better
and being an inspirational leader. That people they follow you or they do because they want to, because they believe in it, not because they have to. That is real leadership.
And that is very difficult. That is very difficult. But the last question,
why is it difficult?
Like to get people to do things like from inspiration point of view, it requires a lot of
you have to touch their heart and their mind at the same time.
But you can manage, you can have figures, numbers, coach. That's kind of different, but you don't know. Also, people might act like they are inspired with your vision or whatever, but it's always hard to have, especially when there's more people, when there is an organization that has thousands of employees.
You might more difficult.
You might inspire 2-3 people, your colleagues or your friends that you brought in the smaller ideas, but when you look at it at scale, it's difficult. You need to have like crazy magic. So like, what is it that keeps you going, or how do you cope up with this all responsibilities? There are a lot of stakeholders, shareholders. It's a lot going on, from what you have told us, and it's a higher responsibility that you are in. And how do you recharge yourself? How do you cope up?
I enjoy myself.
This
job is giving me job satisfaction. It's a fun job. It's an exciting job because no day in my 25 years, no day is the same. Every day is different. Every day is something new, something different. I mean, we're sitting here today
on a podcast.
On a podcast. I mean, in my 3 years of Ethiopia, is the first podcast that I'm doing. So again, something different today. Okay, so I'm blessed. I'm really privileged because you can't get bored. You can't get bored. Of course, you can allow yourself to get bored if you don't, be agile and dynamic enough. Which I don't have to force myself, but traveling up country, this, that, meeting here, meeting there. You can also say, okay, let me lock myself up in my office from Monday morning till Friday evening, and I don't engage and interact with anybody. Yeah, okay, then you will get bored. Then you don't do your job. Okay, but the job, the way I have done it, the way I've been blessed and privileged to do this, it's exciting. So I don't need to recharge my batteries. The job itself is auto recharge. I get the energy out of what I'm doing because it's exciting. And of course there are difficult moments. Don't get me wrong. There are moments that I want to bang my head and say, damn, angry, but you have to let go easy. If you carry it, everybody has a backpack of problems, so if you put, it's like a stone, every problem you add into your backpack, in the moment, if you can't offload your stones, you won't be able to move forward. So you have to offload. That's something also you have to learn in corporate. Don't carry your problems or your frustrations. You have to offload. Otherwise you collapse. So vent it out, bang the table, bang your head, be angry for 5 minutes and, move on. Otherwise you can't last. You can't last.
You cannot keep your expressions.
No. So something that I do, in the evening, I would be at home at night eating, you just digest the day. Not just the food, but also the day. Some of the things that really annoyed you or annoyed me. You just almost talk to yourself as if you're talking to that person. And then the following day, you've forgotten about it. That's great. If you carry it forward, you can't last because you interact with so many people. Your frustrations, can build up to a level that's not possible to manage. So it's not like I need to, recharge the battery. We need to live a healthy life. CEO, any leadership position also takes a very physical toll on you. Physically, you have to be in good shape. I will tell you, I cannot operate correctly if I am tired or if I'm sick. Physically, I cannot be a CEO because I'm just not up to the task. Yeah. It's also a physical job. When I'm really tired, when I've traveled at night, couldn't sleep. Okay, not on Ethiopian Airlines, of course. I sleep very well there. For whatever reason, I couldn't sleep at night on the plane or whatever. And then you come to the office and you're tired, and I can't be a good CEO. If physically you're not at the right level, so you have to take care of yourself also physically. Mentally, the ancient Greeks had that saying, a healthy mind needs a healthy body. Yeah, so you cannot be on top, of your mental performance if physically you're also not in good shape. So you have to take care of yourself. You have to eat well, you have to sleep well, you have to take care of your physical health to be able to perform at your mental health. CEO is a mental job. You interact constantly, and so it's a mental job. You cannot perform with your mind if your body is not there. And I feel that if I'm if I'm really tired or half sick, I don't feel well, I don't behave, I don't interact up to the standard that I want. So it's not a secret. I think you will ask many leadership physically is as important as mentally. It's actually a precondition. Mm-hmm. It's a precondition. So take care of yourself. Be in good health. Yeah, it's important. Yeah. It's important.
The guy will have a rundown question for you.
Okay.
That will be answered in 1 minute or less.
Okay.
No.
It's a test.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shoot. Your happiest moment in your leadership life?
Success. When I can tell you a story. Okay, I only have 1 minute. Oh my God. Okay, so in Senegal in 2007, we had a specific target to be compliant to audit standard, and nobody believed that we would ever make it. And so the auditors came and they certified us as being compliant to the SOX standard. Mm-hmm. I cried because I was so happy. Nobody believed that we would be able to do it, and we did it. I was overwhelmed with emotion. It was an amazing moment of happiness that I shared with the team. On the spot,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The auditor came and says, clean audit, done. It's like, happiness.
Amazing. Okay. What is the hardest decision you ever made as a leader?
Letting people go, it's never a nice decision. It's a tough decision. If you build up rapport, human rapport, you put your empathy hat, you build up the rapport, you invest in people, and then having to let go is tough. Also losing people. I mean, I've lost people in car accidents and things. It's tough. You have to go to the family and face that. Stuff, it's not nice. Mm-hmm. Not an easy thing to do. You have to pull yourself together, and
Okay.
If you invest in people, that's the price you pay. Of course, if you keep a very far distance, don't care. Mm-hmm. That's the downside of the
getting
close.
Yeah. If you can give one advice to an aspiring leader, what will that advice be?
Listen and learn. And be humble enough. Wanting to listen, you first have to be humble. If you think you know it all, there's no need to listen. I already know it, so why should I listen? So you first have to accept that you don't know everything, and then you take the time and the effort to listen and learn. There's so much knowledge in all of us. But you need to take the effort to listen.
Excellent. And like, you were a CEO 25 years ago. You're a CEO today. Mm-hmm. What does success look like? Does the meaning of success change it when you were a young CEO and today, an adult CEO?
When I was a young CEO, I thought success is what I do. Mm-hmm. And now it's about what we do. Beginning, it was just about myself. I thought I'm the one who made the difference. Mm-hmm. Now it's about what we achieve. And it took me, don't say it took me 25 years, but it took me a while before I got to that I to we. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What are the best investment you ever made in your career journey that contributed to your success?
Coming to Africa, but that is not really an investment as such. But coming to Africa, taking the opportunity that was given to me, that investment that I make to say, to my mother, I'm off. What? Where are you going? Mm-hmm. What? Africa? Zimbabwe? Where is that? So that investment of, taking that risk of going to taking that opportunity to start working in Zimbabwe in 1998, 28 years ago, everything else, is a consequence of that. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be here today.
Mm-hmm. My last question would be what is the one belief that you have, a lot of people around you disagree with?
You kept the most difficult question for last.
Yep.
What do I believe in that most people don't believe in?
Yeah. Or you disagree that a lot of people agree on certain things, but you disagree. It's just.
Oh my God! Really? You throw me under the bus like that at the end? I need more than a minute to think about that. Degrees. Many people, depending sometimes country by country, but many people believe that the foundation of success is the degrees that you carry. Mm-hmm. There's a more traditional kind of labor market, all the parents, they want their children to go to university, get that degree, and then, life will be okay. You'll get this job, that job. The thing that matters is attitude, not degrees. Not everybody, I wouldn't say most people disagree, but many people disagree with that. But the real thing that makes your career is not the degree, it's the attitude.
Excellent.
You agree?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Not a lot of people disagree.
Oh, is it? Okay, fine.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a debatable, so it's a pass.
Young people don't agree with that, because they spent all that time and effort at getting the degree.
I think young people would agree. I think the generation that was. That was
30, 40 years old. They wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah. But the earlier generation, I think they have a different mindset, I would say.
Yeah, because they're so proud to feel that the degree, it gives them the right, to get to this level. Whatever attitude, what do you mean? I have this degree, so I'm entitled to this kind of job, this kind of salary.
Yeah.
While, when you are in a more competitive kind of corporate, where it's performance-based, it's not just the degree, it's the delivery. And the delivery comes with the attitude, right? Cool. Attitude to the job.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why, sometimes we really have challenges in explaining to people why they don't get promoted. Mm-hmm. So, but I have all these degrees and I have 10 years of experience. How can you promote this guy who only has 3 years experience and doesn't have the same degree as me? Mm-hmm. Well, because his attitude is so much better. It's a challenge, because you have that hierarchical civil servant mindset that people, get automatically promoted 3 years, whatever, boom, you get to the next promotion. That's Safaricom? No, it's performance. And performance is right attitude.
So, throughout your life, what is one wisdom you learn, in life that you wanted to share with our audience?
The wisdom is that in what I've learned, what I didn't realize when I was young, is that everybody whoever you are, wherever you are, carries some wisdom in them. Everybody has wisdom. Your driver, your cleaner, your CEO, your whatever. Everybody has something, that you say, wow, that's wise. That when I was young, I wasn't considering that. I wasn't thinking that, wisdom could come from the cleaner. Wasn't thinking like that. But sometimes it's like, wow, yeah, really, yeah, you're right. I hadn't thought about that. So wisdom is everywhere, and everybody has some piece of wisdom. I didn't know that. Was that the last question?
Yes. Okay. Wim, thank you so much.
No, thank you. There's been a very engaging discussion. Well, conversation, not even conversation. Happy. So let's see.
Yeah, but thank you so much. It's
been a pleasure.
Humble of you to come down here.
It's my first time that it has been so engaging.
Yeah.
Okay, so long also.
Yeah,
but very engaging. Very engaging.
Well, you're fun to talk to. You have so much energy.
A lot of adventurous.
Yeah.
Conversations that we had.
Yeah. Wow. I've been on an exciting journey. Life has given me the opportunity to live an exciting life.
Yeah. That's what we wish for all our audience, to have an exciting life.
No, I have an exciting life. I've been to many different countries, engaging with many different people. I've had my challenges, very nasty experiences in some countries. But no, it has been an amazing journey so far.
Yeah.
So far.
We never know after.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But thank you so much.
No, thank you. It's been
መሪዎች
a pleasure.
የዚህ ሳምንት ፕሮግራማችን ይህንን ይመስል ነበረ። መልካም ሳምንት. Goodbye.